Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. We are back for Kingmaker episode 3 with the wonderfully named The Morning After. Because, let's be honest, well, we haven't finished the night quite yet, but what a night it has been. Scribe, can we get some cliff notes of what happened last time?
So, let me get to the right screen so I can read it. Nope. Computer's being squirrely.
Not a squirrely computer.
I know what the problem is.
We also don't want a donkey computer because we don't want stubborn computers.
I mean, I'd say a squirrely computer is better than a squirrel loose in your house. I've had that happen a few times.
I had a mouse get loose in a cabin I was staying at while I was camping. Glamping.
No, I'm talking full-size squirrels in my home.
Oof.
There's a couple of times birds got in. Georgia was a crazy place.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, we had a hanging basket on the front door that we never opened, and swallows would nest in there. And every so often, somebody who didn't know not to open that door would open the door, and the swallows would get into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And boy fucking howdy was it hard to get them out.
I can't get over how cute Marlowe's icon is.
Oh, thank you.
It is quite
I did not
cute.
draw that.
No, it's a pick room, so is mine. But
Yeah.
it's adorable.
It's great. Yes. I love it.
Okay, Scribe.
Okay, so
Scribe
last
us.
time we searched through the area a lot more closely. Through all of like the rooms that had bodies or not bodies in them. Generally found not a whole lot. We did find a Tanglefoot bag and a potion of healing. We found a statue of Ilmater with 3 vials under it, which were a potion of health, a potion of bark skin, a potion of some level of fire resistance, and a bronze key. And then we heard loud thuds and went to the next room where there was a destroyed library with an enraged ogre going nuts. Found Lindsay hiding in a corner. And then also found Harem, Amiri, and Valerie. Or no.
That was
Lindsay
later.
Lindsay had been with Harem, Amiri, and Valerie, but they all got split up, and so we just found Lindsay. We went back to the main hall. As we were going, we found sitting on the floor, leaning up against the door, there was a cut up and bleeding frost giant.
Mm-hmm.
Gorek tried valiantly to talk our way out of having to fight this guy, but with no success. So we
While he was the only one who spoke giant, he was not saying the right words. Because he don't speak so good.
Tried his best.
In a pantry, we found Harem, Amiri, and Valerie. Lovely again. Stuck her foot in her mouth.
Yeah.
I think she
I may
more
have done that.
stuck her foot down her throat. Foot in the mouth doesn't quite let everyone know the severity of what happened.
She's pretty. I told her she was pretty.
Which was the worst thing you could possibly say to Valerie.
You didn't say she was pretty.
I said that we would be losing a beautiful soul if she had left this world, I think is what I said.
The world would be a far less beautiful place without you in it.
Yes, that's what it was.
So
did not go well.
I propose that our party flag is a skull with a foot in its mouth, because that's all we seem to fucking do. God.
Amiri was kind of disappointed that she didn't get to fight the giant. Um,
And
Harem
then
is-
Gorik put his foot in his mouth.
I
It's a
don't remember
classic.
what Gorik did.
Something along the lines of you had one already, now let everyone else get a turn.
Yeah, there
It
was
gave
Sorry,
really
Grace.
big. Mom said it was my turn to play the Xbox vibes.
That's Gorik was kind of trying. Gorik was doing his best back and forth. He was just generally really thrown off that by Amiri shortly thereafter when she didn't want to come with us to fight more things after she was so thrilled to come out and fight the giant. It was very confusing.
Yeah, because she had no health left.
But she was ready to fight the giant. Gorg just really thought, if you're willing to fight the biggest, baddest guy around, surely other folks like Mr. the Knife would have been adequate secondary targets.
Someone is
Mr.
just
the
still
Knife.
mad about Mr. the Knife.
Only a little.
Mr. the Knife? Is that what we're calling the Reduses now?
No, that is
The lead Redis was named Mr. the Knife.
no.
Oh, I
The
thought his
second in command was Nishkiv the Knife.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to him yet. And Harem was extra dramatic and just, I'm gonna die, entropy take me, and even though he was not gonna die.
And then he was mad about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marlo was there for that one.
We looted some stuff. The doors to Lady Jamandi's place were barricaded and guarded. One of the guys looks like maybe a mystery knight because he's got a black shield, so it's covering the coat of arms is covered. We talked to Lieutenant Ivenzi, and we were the first to make it from the East Wing, and probably the only people that survived the East Wing.
Besides the people we rescued.
Yeah. And now it's just the West Wing that isn't under control, and Lady Jamandi had led some people in there and possibly now needs to be rescued. And we are the only ones in a position to do so. We did get a set of 4 health potions. And the whole area is just engulfed in smoke, so that's fun. We did find a smoke-free room with a statue to Ilmater. And Lovely was able to tell that if we prayed to good deities in that room, we might get a blessing. Which I think 2 of us managed to do, which was equivalent to a full rest.
Marlo.
Which was really, really helpful that it was both of the people who have healing abilities.
Marlo decided to say a prayer to their mom,
Which is not a good deity.
which is an evil
No, my mom
deity.
is not a good deity.
Okay, Gorik's in the same boat.
In one room we found Tartuccio unconscious on a rug. We woke him up. He had no idea how he ended up on the rug. He just came to that room to relax before going to bed. He had no intention of coming with us, and I think he just stayed in that room. We went through the armory, kept going through to the lounge, fought some more cutthroats. And there was someone named Jathal who we didn't meet at the feast, but they were tied up on a couch.
And that is the room that had Mr. the Knife in it. Nishkil the
Yes.
Knife.
Yes, that was when we fought Mr. the Knife.
Didn't somebody almost accidentally try to steal Jathal's scythe, thinking that it was on one of the baddies?
That was me.
That was a player thing that the character would not have had that confusion.
This is
Yeah.
true. I just found it entertaining, so I wanted to note it.
Yeah, I just personally think scythes are cool and thought it would be cool if we grabbed a scythe since we were picking up a bunch of weapons, but I got confused.
let me see. There might be. I probably have some character art for some of the people, so I'm going to look that up real quick while our scribe
Yep.
continues.
We looted some more bodies. Gorik has been collecting hand crossbows, I guess, as a hobby.
I used to collect tumbleweeds as a kid. It's not that weird.
I have a marshmallow crossbow that my dad made me.
You're amazing, man.
I once dragged a tumbleweed across a stage for a play.
No, I would run down the street to catch him. I
Yeah.
was like 3. My mom couldn't catch up with me because she was heavily pregnant with my brother at the time.
We've actually gotten emails at work reminding people that it's better to hit the tumbleweed than to swerve into oncoming traffic.
The tumbleweed is just a tumbleweed. You
Yeah.
just crunch it. It's not a fun crunch, but you crunch it.
I mean, my problem is always that I have the tiniest truck, and so it just gets blown all over the road.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
What happened after?
So we looted the bodies, and then we went to a dueling chamber.
You did.
And that is where Lady Jamandi was fighting a pair of frost giants by herself.
Dang.
And we realized that she had like 4 times as much health as all of us put together.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
she was doing fine.
Mhm.
And then there was a lady with an axe. And we continued to get our asses handed to us. We have been almost TPKing this entire time.
Yep.
Marlowe stabbed a lot of people very effectively.
Yes, Marlowe just stabbed.
Tragically, Gorik was unconscious and didn't see it, but he would be so proud.
Thank you, Duck, for piloting me.
He
I
spent
it was-
a lot of time unconscious last session. I think that
That's-
happened, 6 times? 7 times?
Yeah. Thank you for giving me, the player, something to do while Gorik was unconscious.
I do not mind. I had a lot going on that day.
Marlowe's with 1 hit point in a dream was the most effective character I piloted so far, so it was great.
We love to hear it.
And then we took some money off of them, and Lovely stole her coat.
Yes, I did.
And that was where we ended.
And that was where we ended, because by that point it was
Super late.
like 9 p.m.
It was like midnight something when I got home, and you guys were still live.
Yeah. Okay, so here is a picture of Tartuccio.
That asshole.
That's a gross guy.
Yep.
I'm a little begrudgingly impressed by his massive eyebrows.
Yeah,
Right.
How is that hairline though, man? Like I know I have a big forehead. That's why I have bangs. Like, what are you doing, Tartuccio?
Is this what they call highbrow? Is that how it works?
It's giving moth.
It's so
yeah,
accurate.
yeah, you right. You right.
Especially with the cape.
Yeah,
I can see it.
I'll agree with that.
Okay. So, we ended as everything died. And basically, right as you were finishing, Lady Jamandi was taking out the second of the frost giants. And walks over to you guys with a bit of a smile and a little bit of sweat on her face. She says, "Well, thank you for coming to my aid. I assume you've made it through the whole wing, so that should be everyone.
I believe we have.
Wonderful. Here, each of you should have this, and she hands each of you a sack. It looks like a coin sack, but there's a little clinking of glass inside of it, as well as like the clinking of coins.
I open it.
There are 2 vials of some type of health potion.
Huzzah! In each of the bags?
In each of the bags, plus 50 gold.
Arcana to identify?
Yeah, it's just a normal healing potion. So,
Okay. Okay, so 2 healing potions each.
Yep,
And then how much
Man.
gold did you say was in the bag?
50. And that is for
50 gold.
and each person got such a bag.
Okay.
Mhm. Equipment.
Well, would you mind walking with me back to the Great Hall?
Sure.
Okay. So you guys pretty quickly get back to the room where Tartuccio was in. He is no longer there.
A weirdo.
And you remember about the fire, like right as she opens the doors. And while there's a lot of smoke, there seems to be both less smoke and it's not as hot.
Seems like someone's been taking care of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Plus.
you're able to walk through, and as you pass the bedrooms that had been on fire, you notice that there's a couple of people basically fighting the fire in each one, and the windows have been shattered, which is helping to evacuate the smoke. Once you guys get back to the Great Hall, she kind of looks around and nods and then says, "Welp, the task of rebuilding starts." So what do you guys want to do?
Yikes.
I
think we should nap.
That's probably a good idea. I think sleeping is a good idea.
Long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gorik is delirious from blood loss at this point.
So you guys, if you guys long rest, you are going to miss the ceremony.
Hell.
Huge bummer. Do they have coffee?
You can you can go back to sleep for a few hours, but the main ceremony that is the whole reason why you're here is happening in about 4 hours.
4 hours.
Point
Short
of
rest?
clarification.
Sure.
Did you not tell us?
Yeah, you told us we could take a long rest.
When we leveled up.
You should not have a fight until after you could long rest.
Okay.
We just had
Also,
Nothing-
because there should be no combat between now and when you're going to be expected to take a long rest, you can come to the session leveled and having a long rest. That is your
Yes.
exact word.
Okay.
Yes.
So our character sheets have had a long rest, but like
Your characters.
but
The
the
Yes.
actors
act-
themselves have not. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That was what we need to establish.
Yep.
Because if you guys have a fight at the ceremony, things have gone so off the rails that
I
we
think you should
might-
expect anything though.
This feels like a challenge now.
This does feel like a challenge. I think I can make a fight out of this.
No, I have spent so much money. I have spent so much money making Kingmaker happen. If you get into a fight in this fucking ceremony, I'll have to throw out the module, and I'm not doing that.
All right. All right. We'll listen to you, Father.
You knew,
Okay, Dad.
you already were going to. We all know that. But
I could be hilarious.
I'm just surprised we're still having it, given everybody's been murdered and the thing is on fire.
Well,
Not everybody.
actually, most of the people, it was just the random adventurers who didn't have names that got murdered. All of the important NPCs that we met that had icons and stuff managed to escape.
yeah, like, remember, Magar Varn left after the feast. He wasn't in the manor.
Oh, he was the cute douchebag.
There's a second floor, at least a second floor, if not also a third floor. There might be more people there as well.
Mm-hmm.
If Maker Varn comes to the ceremony, I could see us fighting.
Yeah, I might scrap with that guy.
So you guys get about 3 hours of sleep before you have to get up and you start getting ready. And as you do, yes?
Does anybody have a sewing kit or at least like an awl and a thread? Because otherwise Gorik is going to have a lot of holes in his clothes from getting stabbed.
Hey, Gorek.
I would have something.
Gorek,
Mm-hmm.
mending.
Oh my god.
This is what it's always been meant for.
This is incredible.
Mending is wonderful. It really is.
It is. I have so many cantrips, you guys. Yeah, so I will happily like attend to everybody's clothing.
And then
nice.
I think Reese also has prestidigitation. So
Prestidigitation can make it so it's not soiled, so it can clean
Yes.
it, but it doesn't actually mend it.
correct.
Yeah.
But you would
So
also
between
have
the two of us-
blood from head to toe.
Yeah, between the two of us, we can get us nice and prepared for the ceremony.
Yeah. but
Wait,
I,
does that... Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I also carry just a ton of tools that something would work for whatever anybody needs at any given time.
This is also just like an inn. There's probably a laundry room somewhere.
It's not an inn, it's a manor.
A manor. There's probably a laundry room somewhere.
There are probably multiple. This is one of the most important houses in the nation.
Okay, so it sounds like we're gonna go back to our quarters,
Yes.
take maybe a short rest, and attend to our clothing.
Yes, that is what it sounds like. So, as you guys are preparing for the formal ceremony, somebody knocks at your door.
I think unless somebody opposes Gorik opening it, I feel like given all the violence and his role as the mute shield, my inclination is to have Gorik kind of open the door a little bit to see who it is.
Good plan.
Okay. It's Magar Varn.
Gorik shuts the door.
This bitch. Yeah, please don't open it back up.
He knocks on the door again.
He is a noble. We probably shouldn't be that, because I didn't actually share my information that he is a noble to everyone. We probably shouldn't be that rude to him.
But he's that rude to us.
And then
Does it matter?
I don't know how land people rules work.
I'm gonna slip my way in front of Gorik and just like crack the door open.
Probably for the best.
Probably for the best.
There's a bemused smile on his face. And he kind of looks over Lovely's shoulder so he can kind of look at each person real quick, and he says, "Can I speak with you for a couple of minutes?"
Would it be like I'm trying to what would be the appropriate way to address someone who's like a minor noble? My lord?
My
I
lord
wanna
wouldn't
try
be
and-
wrong.
Okay. Yes, my lord. And then I invite him in. Because I want to keep up the etiquette and stuff that Lovely would have.
At least at the moment, he remains at the threshold, and he says,
Okay. But I do open up the door wide.
yes. I've been told I may not have come off the best last night, and for that I apologize. Related to that only because it was what was going through my head towards your group last night. As I looked at all of the groups who are going to vie to take control of the land nearest mine, I admit I would not have bet on your group being the successful ones. I mean no offense, but a small motley group such as yourselves tends not to stay together long enough to be successful. He then quickly looks down the hallway behind him before stepping fully into the room and shutting the door behind him. And you notice he very expertly makes sure that the dueling sword at his waist stays out of the door's way. I heard what happened last night. I want to deeply thank you for all that you did to protect those I count as family. It is also proof that I was very far off in my assessment of you. I apologize for underestimating you. I hope to never do that again, as I hope others continue to do so. He smiles a rueful smile before continuing. It's why I am here, to ensure you are armed with as much knowledge as possible before you set out. About 4 days down the South Rostland Road, the road that runs just south of the city, there's a trading post run by a man named Oleg Levington and his wife, Svetlana. They're very good people. I suggest you use their trading post as a home base as you map the area. I doubt any other group will be heading into the green... I doubt any other group that'll be heading into the green belt will go to Oleg's. At least not at first. I'm sure they'll follow the Shrike River instead. At the start, there will be many groups. Although, not as many as there would have been. His face goes grim for a moment here. Most of these groups that do head out will be in way over their heads. And will either pack it up and go home, or, let's be honest, die pretty quickly. There will likely only be 1 or 2 other groups within a month from now. With Oleg's as a place to rest and recover, you should have a much easier time than anyone else. By this point, he's begun pacing back and forth. I'm sure I could go on all day giving you advice that would be useful, although I am sure you already know most of what I would share, so it's a waste of time. And that is not the main reason why I wanted to speak to you anyway. His eyes rake over the 4 of you again. I'm sure this will not be of news to 2 of you. With that, he motions towards Reese and Lovely. The other 2, however, and he kind of focuses on Goric and Marlowe. You should know this. Brevoy is an artificial nation that does not have a long history. It will split back into Rostland and Issia. It's not a matter of if, but of when. And when that day comes, it will be a bloody, brutal affair. Have you asked yourself why Lady Jamandi is doing this? She knows that if war were to break out today, Rostland would lose. Everyone knows that the Sword Lords are the leaders of Rostland, and as such can't be seen doing anything aggressive or expansionist. Which is where we come in. If this plan hadn't been formed, I would be preparing to take on the surname Aldori now. Instead, I am acting the 3rd son of a minor noble. I mean, I am that. But I am so much more. So what if the third son of a minor noble plays at being a duelist for a few years before leaving the Sword Lords to stake a claim in the wilderness? So what if a group of adventurers maps an unmapped area, rids it of its troublesome bandits, and declare themselves the leaders of a new nation? And acting in the stead of the dragon scale throne, of course Lady Jamandi will help out these new nations forming at the borders of Brevoy. Nothing to go to war over. Now, eventually, the day will come, and the lady will ask for your aid. On that day, I hope that you say yes. I can promise you nothing ill will happen if you refuse her, but I hope you say yes. As he stops talking, he slows his pacing to just a stop. And he kind of looks at all of you, gauging your reactions.
Did he
So
say he was engaged to Lady Aldori?
He was.
No,
Yeah, that's what I heard.
he did
What?
not say that.
He said that he was preparing to take the last name Jamandi.
No, the last name
No,
Aldori.
Eldori, yeah.
Which just means you're one of the Sword Lords.
Yeah.
Once you are high enough in the Sword Lords, you will take on the last name Eldori.
Got it.
Well, Eldori is a surname and was originally a family name. It is no longer a family name.
It's a title. Okay.
Okay,
Kind of.
I got you.
I think it's more of like an adopted family.
Yes.
Right. He did mention that. He said we saved the people he considers his family. But he said that he's no longer pursuing being a sword lord.
He did not
No.
say that.
Okay.
That he's taking some time to go fuck around.
yeah, I mean, in a meta sense, it sounds like it's a little bit of political hanky-panky.
It is
Yeah.
absolutely that.
Yeah.
In a non-meta
Besides, like-
sense, the only part that Gorek understood was where he told us a friendly spot to rest, and seems weirdly nice and straightforward compared to last night. So Gorek's gonna give him a hug.
He chuckles and hugs Gorik back.
Gorek's just gonna say, you seemed kind of weird and mean last night, and I'm glad you got some good sleep and are feeling better today.
As I said, I have been told I might not have come off the best last night. And again, I apologize.
If I'm to understand correctly, you were trying to assess the differing adventuring groups at first glance to seem. What, are you looking for allies?
The land you are going into is next to the land that I will be taking charge of. One should know who their neighbors are, don't you think?
Taking charge of in what way?
All four sections of the stolen land will be having delegations sent to them. Your area is the only one where there is no formal delegation. There is
Mhm.
simply a charter with stipulations. And you will learn that, you'll learn more about that when the ceremony starts. I am leading one of those delegations.
And if your delegation is successful, then you will have more land and power afforded to you than you would have had as just the third son of a baron, correct?
Third son of a minor noble. I would have had nothing. Which is why I did not stay with my family. The Varns do not have much to give, and I have 2 brothers. And several sisters.
Your behavior wasn't very neighborly at last night. I don't know how land people treat their neighbors, but that's not a nice way to treat new folks. I'm glad you apologized, though. That was very polite of you. I shake his hand. It is a very firm handshake.
Okay.
Why do you urge us to take the lady's help? What help could she need?
She will be in a war. What help does someone in a war need?
So are you telling us to prepare for war?
Eventually, it will happen. I'm sure you are familiar with Bravoy. And yes, Lovely would be, and Lovely would know that, yeah, eventually there is almost assuredly going to be a civil war. And he is definitely saying that there will.
I guess what I'm having trouble understanding is for someone who did underestimate us last night, you're suddenly putting a lot of trust on us to essentially be the winners of this race to clear the area we've been assigned, and are hoping that you're putting a lot of trust in us.
I am.
And
yes.
It's a lot. I'm suspicious. Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
$21.
He seems genuine.
Weird. He must be desperate.
Probably is, which means something really bad happened last night.
Yeah. If I was playing a different character, I'd want to take advantage of that desperation, but I'm playing Lovely.
I don't know land people etiquette. I'm so confused by all of this.
You, on your own, you killed an ogre, a frost giant, multiple groups of assailants, including someone with a very wicked axe. You are obviously talented. The other groups are not. As I said, I fully expect within the month there will be you and one or two others. You call this a race, and yes, technically it is a race. But it's like an ultra marathon.
It's a race of endurance, not of speed.
And no one else, or very few else, have the endurance to make it anywhere near the end.
Props to us, I suppose.
Yeah. The question is whether or not we want to get involved in all of this.
As I said,
Probably should. War is one of the most destructive things in this world.
As I said, someday, after aiding you as much as she can, the lady will ask for your aid in return. And that is a choice you will have to make on that day. That is not a choice for today. That is not a choice for tomorrow. You need to create a kingdom before you can even begin to think of that case. That question. Let's not count our basilisks before they hatch.
Oh, you have a basilisk? Can I see it? I always wanted to pet one.
So, at least Lovely and Reese would know that that is almost a pun on "Don't count your chickens before you hatch." That's talking about good things, because the legends of basilisks include being hatched by a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be essentially the opposite of "Don't count your chickens before they hatch." Don't count your basilisks before you hatch, or before they hatch. As in, don't deal with future problems before you have to deal with future problems.
Right.
It's a very good saying. Marlo just doesn't understand it because most of their animals, like the live people, like the land people animals, they've only seen like the cool ones in books. I mean, cows and chickens and all that stuff are really cool, but they've seen those a few times now. They still pet every cow they see.
How would Marlo have books on the bottom of the ocean?
They've been on land for a little while now, right?
Okay.
They've
So you
seen books.
didn't grow up with books. Okay.
No, books are a newish thing. Definitely don't have those at the bottom of the ocean.
I love the idea of there being like sea elf audiobooks that are just like I don't know, magic seashells headphones.
I mean,
now I have to make that happen. Now Marlo has to make that happen. Lovely and Marlo have to make that happen together.
no, I'm sure they would already exist. It would have been research spinning off from the sending spell.
Right. And that's how
like,
you've been
like
getting
the sending
all of,
stones.
like you essentially have been getting audiobook translations of like actual literature that's on land.
Yeah, I just have never seen like the pictures of animals before. Like I don't know what a cow looks like until like 3 months ago. Cows are really cool. I pet them all the time. I love a cow, man. Love a cow.
Well, Magron, is that his name?
Magar
is still here. Because it's just now dawning on Lovely that that's what they've been tasked to do, is build a kingdom. Because before, like, I think that we all just kind of thought that, like, hey, they're asking for adventurers to go in, rid this land of bandits, map it out, and stuff like that. But I don't think it really clicked for any of us that it, or at least for Lovely, that we're going to have to lead a nascent nation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's like dawning on Lovely, and she's gonna turn to Magar and say, we may have the skills to make that land habitable, but I'm not sure and Lovely's gonna look to her party with adoration for all of the skills that we have, and even look down at herself, are fully capable of leadership. And I would like to request any aid that you may have should the time come.
Yes. Once you get your capital set up, I will send you an envoy, both as an invitation to come meet me in Varnhold, and also to begin talking about setting up trade. I did mention that last night, but I suppose the details of our talks could easily have been forgotten in... And he just kind of gestures vaguely around.
Yeah. It's been a long night.
It has been. But also, remember, when you doubt yourselves, you are looking at yourselves as iron before the forge, and expecting to be a sword. You have not gone through the forge yet. Last night was the beginning of your tempering. What happens in the green belt will forge you into... Well, we'll see what it forges you into. But I have every faith that it will forge you into something worth being used. I assume and have faith that you will come out the other side as leaders when it is time to be a leader.
We must. Lovely's gonna say, almost under her breath, we must create a place that is truly beautiful.
Now, with that, I will take my leave. In about 20 minutes, we are all expected in the Great Hall. And with a swish of his cape, he leaves. Or cloak. He wears a cloak.
Real quick, I wanted to share that my unicorn Fluffy that I've had since I was 3 has the same color palette as Lovely.
Yeah. I now need a unicorn.
Yes, this is Fluffy. Fluffy has been
Unicorns
my
should be the unicorn should be a because she has a unicorn horn.
yeah.
She does.
Unicorns should be our crest.
Like our flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dig it. I dig it.
Or a
Rose.
narwhal.
That would be so cool. Because Marlo's definitely seen a narwhal. They are really excited about the idea of unicorns. They've seen horses before, and they think horses are really neat. They've never seen a unicorn.
Would Marlo think of a unicorn as a land narwhal?
Yeah, probably.
A land wall.
It's really funny
Yeah.
when you think about the fact that whales are descended from ungulates.
They're just ungulates that went back to the ocean.
Yep.
Which is why horses and porpoises are basically the same. They even rhyme.
Well, you know that hippopotamuses, their closest relative are whales.
Whales, yeah.
That makes sense because
Hippopotamuses are of the group that did not go back to the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Which is barely. Just barely.
They still hang out in rivers.
Oh my god, they swim so fast.
They don't swim.
They don't swim?
No.
They just kind of charge.
Yeah.
They're not even swimming, they're just running in the water?
Yeah, no, they run on the bank, or like on the floor of the river. Yeah.
That's so scary. That's so scary.
So
That's so scary.
when it is deep enough that it goes over, it engulfs their entire body. Yeah, they're just running underwater. If it's not deep enough for that, yeah. But yeah,
They're so scary, man.
They're way too heavy to swim. They can't swim.
They're scary creatures.
Scary, scary, scary.
They are the mammal with the highest human body count. Not the animal with the highest body count. That would be the mosquito. That has killed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is believed 50% of all humans ever have died from a mosquito. Mosquitoes are
Christ.
Fucking mosquitoes.
Freaking mosquitoes. Okay.
So yeah, you guys are alone again, with a whole bunch of new information.
Or at least a good direction to head.
I think we should have party huddle time. Party huddle time?
Party huddle time.
Okay. Lovely is going to like sit down on the ground, crisscross applesauce, and like lay her skirts around her. And like gesture everyone to like sit down as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So were you guys under the impression that we were like going out to start a new nation? Because this is just news to me right now.
I thought we were making maps.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I thought it was too.
This is all crazy work. I was not
Yeah.
prepared for all this. I'm not opposed to it, but boy howdy am I not prepared.
Yeah, that's kind of the boat I'm in right now too.
Mhm.
I mean, I think we just take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm. Wait, hold on. The thing I was going to say does not make sense for Goric to say. So I'm just gonna retract my statement.
I think that if we are going to do this together, we need to learn more about each other, and so that we can be aligned with what we all want out of this journey. We need to become friends.
I thought we were friends.
Oh, I'm so touched that you feel that way, Marlo. And she like pulls you in for a hug.
I was not gonna understand, but like they're gonna be like, okay, and give a hug back. They're good with hugs.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know what we would be if not friends at this point.
Yeah, like
Here's an
Gorik's my
interesting
bestie.
question. Does Gorik make a differentiation between friends and family?
Not really. I mean, Gorik's whole frame of reference is in group of people that rely on each other to survive. So, and we are the party is certainly that at this point. So, you would consider them, friends slash family.
Also, unrelated question: how many times has Marlo made Gorik stop at the side, like in a like beside a pasture or something, because they wanted to go say hi to a random ass farm animal?
I'm just gonna say I'm assuming it's beyond counting at this point.
Probably.
Certainly beyond Gorik's counting. He'd probably lose
Oh yeah.
patience after the first dozen.
But there's so many of them, and they're all so cute and fuzzy. Like the animals aren't fuzzy underwater.
I feel like Gorik and Marlo are in similar boats from opposite ends, since most of these animals would be less fluffy than what Gorik is used to, except for like the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Like
There
the
are
closest.
fluffy cows.
No, that is true. I guess I don't know what the cows like. What type of cows are in this region? But the closest thing to like
I doubt
Gorik's.
the cows are as fluffy as woolly mammoths.
Marlo is so excited about the idea of petting a woolly mammoth.
Like the only thing that we have run into so far in the campaign that is natural fauna for where Gorik is from was the frost giant.
Oh, what are the winters like in the region that we're going to be? I hate to use the word conquer. Scouting.
This feels colonialist to me, dog.
Lady Aldori said that it's uninhabited. She promises.
She promises, but
The
like
noble
that's what they all
promised.
say.
No,
Yeah.
she said there's a bandit problem.
Oh,
That's not better.
It sounds like
Water's
it's
right.
okay. It sounds like it's not necessarily uninhabited. It's just undeveloped, right?
Squatters' rights.
Exactly.
We
Which
shouldn't
is
kick the people out. We should help them integrate.
exactly. That's a great idea. Maybe we, instead of killing the bandits, we can like offer them work in our new kingdom.
Like make that help them establish like towns and stuff, and then like give them support when we have the ability to.
That's
Yeah,
a
I mean-
great plan.
Cool, less killing involved, and I get to see more animals.
And we can always just anyone who like doesn't want to take our offer, we could always just like, instead of actually killing them, we could just like tie them to a tree or something.
Yeah, because that doesn't kill someone.
Yeah, I
Banishment.
I have unfortunate news for you about leaving someone tied to a tree.
Okay,
It's a slow, painful death.
well maybe we could like, you know what we need to do? We need to save up for a prison cart so we can cart them off somewhere else.
Like rats. You're not
What
supposed
are
to
we
do that with
supposed-
rats, you know.
yeah.
What are we
that's-
supposed to do with people who are going to, because there are always going to be criminals.
I mean, you can eat them.
I mean, no, that's rude, Gorik.
That's
We don't eat
cannibalism.
people.
I'm cannibalism isn't
I
a
know
very
there's like a lot
beautiful
more.
thing.
I know there's a lot more food down here, but I'm just, that's
There's not
sometimes we
enough
had to do
food
that.
scarcity. There's not enough food
No
scarcity for us
judgment
to warrant
if that
eating
was
people at the
necessity.
moment.
Yeah.
No judgment. Just we don't need to do that. I don't think, because
Well, why don't we listen to Magar? Magar? I keep forgetting his name.
I think
Yeah.
it's
Magar.
Magar, but I
Magar. We're. Why don't we just listen to his advice and just cross that bridge when we get there?
yeah. I still think yeah, no. Integrate the peoples.
I agree. I
Social
think
welfare.
that should be our first plan.
I'm going full socialist with my stupid kings.
I love it.
I'm here for it, and I'm waiting for the inevitable, like the meme of, I think we're gonna have to kill this guy.
Damn.
I wonder when that's going to happen.
Since it's a D&D campaign, I'm assuming sooner or later there's somebody who's just gonna be like the
Nah.
giant, where there's nothing we can do.
Yeah. Like,
Dwarves gonna make us kill him.
listen, like, it's still, we can do as much as, like, listen, I'm going to say this first. The pursuit of socialism is not a pacifist route. I firmly believe in using nonviolence before any other path. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Lovely's not going to say that, but.
Oh, I'm here for it. I mean, I think I think Gorik is very much here for the socialism, and is also very much the, like, well,
A tolerant population only comes from a no tolerance policy against
Assholes.
Remember,
Yeah.
tolerance is the tolerance of intolerance is only a paradox if you think of tolerance as a trait someone has. If you treat it as a social construct,
Mhm.
then
it is a
there's
contract
no.
that you enter with somebody else by existing, and if you don't tolerate them, then you don't get to be part of that contract anymore. The
Yeah.
end.
You can opt out of it, but
Mhm.
once you've opted out of it, you don't get to benefit from it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We don't need to accept the rights framing of everything, including tolerance, as something an individual has. We don't need to be individualists. We can be collectivists. And collectivists think of things like social contracts. Don't worry. Capitalism is not always going to be the enemy of my every D&D campaign. I'm not quite Brendan Lee Mulligan. Just a second. My dogs are losing their shit. I think I know why, but I need to go check just in case.
Have fun, be safe. Give the brothers hellos for me.
Should we continue to role play in character? I do like this little, like, hodgepodge on the floor we're having.
My
I'm
last
here for
D&D campaign that was going like full on socialist revolution ended up firebombing a police station and then declaring a new religion.
Oh, nice. I'm here for
Iconic.
it.
Lovely's gonna go full slumber party mode, and she is going to just be like, okay, what is the thing that you guys want most in life?
I want people to think my mom is cool.
Who's your mom?
Umberly.
Oh,
She's not that bad, I swear. Everybody makes that face, but like, I promise she's actually really cool.
I have
Gorik, your
problems
wife
with
says
my
hi.
parents too.
Oh, I say hello back.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it was exactly what I thought it was. Skylar is losing his shit because Gorik's wife is here.
What about you, Reese? What do you want most in the world?
Probably. I don't know, a purpose.
We can work with that. We can find you a purpose, buddy.
Permission to hug you?
Yes.
Hugs.
Can
While
I
you were
hug?
gone, Lovely just went full slumber party mode.
When asked what they wanted most in the world, Marlo answered, "For people to think my mom is cool." And then when asked, "Who's your mom?" and receiving the answer, Lovely was just like, "Oh."
Oh.
It was good shit.
And then I said, I have parent issues too.
You do have parent issues.
What
It's
D&D
okay.
party does not have parent issues?
The classic.
I am glad I don't have 4 orphans, because that is what most D&D parties are. Just, if your family is already dead, the DM can't kill them.
I
Look,
mean,
I have been raised by wolves. I've played a druid raised by wolves only like 5 times.
Only like 5 times.
listen, Lovely's not an orphan. She was raised essentially as an orphan by a religion. Not because her dad's dead.
Her dad just sucks. It's fine.
He's just a pervert who went back on his faith.
Yeah, that's fair.
Reese's parents are just assholes.
Fair.
Like, I mean, Gorik's parents were pretty fine. He just has no idea where they are.
Yeah, and by this point, you probably wouldn't have a way to find them again.
That's kind of part of how he ended up in this place to begin with. And so I suppose since we're talking about Gorik's past, what I want most in the world is a home for every winter.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I was gonna ask, what is the climate like in this place that we're going to, particularly the winters?
Well, you're in the northern hemisphere. The area that you're in right now is well, the northernmost city of Brevoy is called Port Ice. You are a few hundred miles south of there. The temperature of Roastland, the climate of Roastland would honestly be very close to like Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And you are traveling south.
We're traveling
So
south.
like Maine?
Okay. How far south?
I mean,
Is walking.
Oleg's trading post is about 12 miles farther south.
Okay, so like when we're talking about like, this is gonna be like somewhere like between where you currently live and where I grew up, as far as like, we're not like heading towards the equator line.
Right. You are
Right.
not heading towards the equator
Okay.
line.
So I like is
There are
it
going
gonna
to be
give
4 seasons.
4 seasons? Okay. So closer to the climate of where the place you and I have in common?
Probably closer to Oregon.
Oregon. Okay,
in
so
climate
less
wise.
snow.
Yes.
Less
Okay.
snow.
My camera. I'm sorry. I have to plug my computer back in.
Yes. So there will be some snow, not a ton.
But like on the mountaintops kind of thing.
There'll probably be some snow like on the floor and stuff. Like, as I said, closer to Oregon than to Michigan.
Yeah, it's not going to be like October through April. It's going to be more like like November through February kind of
Something
thing.
like that. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And there will likely rarely be 6 feet of snow on the ground,
Got it. Cool.
if ever.
but cold enough that Arl still has a place there.
Sure, yeah. Arl would still have a place there.
That's all I was
Arl?
wondering.
The Frost Maiden.
Yeah.
Oh,
Her name is Arl.
I don't know these things.
Well,
She's like
three-
Umberly, but what if cold?
I mean, okay, yeah, that tracks.
She's like Umberly, but for Gorik.
they
But
three
you
of
have
us
a mom.
do
That's true. I do have a
have
mom that isn't Oral.
three of us do have a connection to Rime of the Frost Maiden. I know you two don't, so I don't expect you to be quite as familiar with the Frost Maiden as three of us are.
Fucking Frost Maiden.
She's more like an auntie.
She's more like someone that if you cross, you go unconscious, as Gorik found out. How many times last time?
Like 6, I think.
What happened when you were like, okay, maybe someday I will stop using my hand axes, and hopefully by then I'll have gained Oral's favor. What was the very next thing you did after making that declarative statement?
I threw 2 hand axes at somebody
No.
and pulled out a great axe.
No, this was before that. This was when you went to go fight the knife.
I thought I used my hand axes at that time.
No, you pulled out your new
it was a
battle
hand
axe.
axe. It was a hand axe and a battle axe. Yeah, I did still have one hand axe in my defense.
Yeah.
But you're like,
You know
It
what's
wasn't enough.
No, it was not. It was not pure of purpose enough for Oral.
Are we going to the ceremony now?
Yes. Yes, you are. So you guys walk to the Great Hall, and it's shocking how quickly Lady Jamundi's staff have restored the Manor's Great Hall in the space of a few hours. Very few signs of the violence of the night before remain, and things have mostly been returned to normal. As the adventurers who survived the assault take seats at the tables, other adventurers who arrived just today settle in as well. Even with these newcomers, though, there are far fewer heroes in the hall than there were the previous evening, and the atmosphere is serious and somber as Lady Jamundi steps up to speak. I would like to thank those of you who helped defeat the Black Tears last night, Lady Jamundi begins. It's obvious someone doesn't like our plans to settle the stolen land. Well, we're not so easily dissuaded, are we? I say no, and this morning I would like to issue formal charters to all of you to begin exploring the stolen lands and make them safe for tomorrow's settlers. The first charter we would like to bequeath goes to the group called the Iron Wraiths, she states, with a wave towards a band of 4 well-armored adventurers. The tales of your adventures have thrilled many Brevik nobles, and I'm excited to see what you can do with the exploration of the Glenbon uplands. Your charter is to establish a base for Brevoy there after dealing with the Tiger Lords, and then open diplomatic relations with Patax from a point of strength. The Iron Wraiths make their way up to Lady Jamundi, and she gives them their charters. As they leave the room, so these are 4 adventurers in full plate, visors down, everything. And Reese, you would have heard of them before, and that's part of their shtick. Nobody has ever seen what the Iron Wraiths look like.
Like Daft Punk, but in armor.
Sure, like Daft Punk, but in armor. Although, that's no longer true. It hasn't been true for a while. People know what Daft Punk looked like, even before they retired.
Okay.
Um,
Like Chuck Tingle.
Does
seen him in
anyone?
person. He doesn't take it off.
If anyone wondered if the five of us were terminally online or not, um,
That is not a terminally online thing. I was at a professional conference that he was attending because he is a horror author and so is my husband. Thank you very much. And yes, he was there head to toe, mask and all.
Yeah, because
probably a really
he
awesome
doesn't
suit.
ever appear without the mask as Chuck Tingle. It's like a thing.
I know.
His suits are always awesome, though.
It's so
Real.
good.
Mhm.
So good.
Mm.
He like was like head to toe every single day of that con, just like fire.
so as the Iron Race begin walking towards the door, passing everyone, um, one of them stage whispers says, "I bet 30 gold these other adventurers won't last a fortnight." And another one kind of shouts the whole room, "Hey, heroes, don't forget to bring your stuffed animals so you don't get scared."
I didn't realize we were given stuffed animals. Where were
Hey,
those
we
at? I
can-
want one.
Goric, what's a stuffed animal?
It's like a it like looks like an animal, but it's like filled with like padding, like plush padding, so that you can squeeze it. You tend to give it to children to comfort them, but I've known many adults who use them as well to help comfort and soothe to fall asleep. They're like pillows in the shape of animals.
Yeah, they make good pillows.
Are they soft?
Yeah,
Yes.
usually yes.
Okay, I want one now. I don't know why they sound like that doesn't sound like a bad thing. Why are they? I don't like these land people. They're so mean, lovely.
I think that they're making a joke about how prepared they are and how unprepared everybody else is.
They're
I'm
trying
assuming they
to-
already have plenty of stuffed animals.
They're using
Well-
underhanded tactics to intimidate us, but we're better than that.
I really don't like those guys.
So
Me neither.
as they continue their jesting toward the other adventurers as they walk out, Lady Jamandi shakes her head in frustration and disapproval before she proceeds with the next charter. Baron Hannes Drelev, as per our previous discussions, your charter is one of specific importance for Bravoy, securing the southern trade routes along the East Selen River and establishing a base for the merchant caravans and barges alike is of utmost importance. Hook Tongue Slaw will be your base of operations. A dour-looking nobleman takes his charter from Lady Jamandi with a crisp bow that's barely more than a nod, and then walks from the room. You notice a slight sneer on his face as he makes his exit, without a word or even a look towards anyone else.
He looks like he smelled something yucky.
I'm starting to worry that we got invited here because people don't like us, because so far everybody that's here seems pretty unpleasant, except for like Lindsay and a few of the other folks.
And then Lady Jamandi looks at Magar Varn. Magar Varn, your father Androth has long been a faithful friend. Your charter assigns you to the Nomen Heights to establish a town with the Varnling host. In time, we hope to establish an Aldori dueling school there. But in the more immediate future, we ask you to broker an alliance with the Nomen Centaurs who roam the region. I trust you and your fellows are up to the task. Magar Varn walks up to accept his charter. As he leaves the Great Hall, he passes by your table and smiles at you. And then, with that, he walks out.
Goric gives him a double thumbs up.
And then Lady Jamandi just kind of addresses the rest of the room And last but certainly not
Weren't there
least,
4?
what was that?
Weren't there 4?
Charters?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're the fourth charter.
Oh, gotcha.
Also, Emery, you sound far away. You sound like you're talking on the other side of the room from your mic.
And last but certainly not least, last night's heroes. First, I want to thank you again for risking your lives to help defend my manor. The courage, gumption, and skill you displayed will take you far, I suspect. For your charters, we're asking you to travel to the southwest into the region known as the Green Belt, a swath of wildlands that includes the forest known as the Gnarl Marches and the hill country of the Canelands. We've heard that the bandits have grown particularly aggressive in the Green Belt, and they need to be stopped before anyone safely settles the region. A small trading post in the Rostland hinterlands has been particularly hit hard. I suggest starting there. Once the bandits have been dealt with, we will be ready to bequeath you more permanent charters to settle the land and establish a government of your own. And you guys are then presented with a charter. Now, this charter that I'm about to send you has a date on it. Ignore the date.
Do I sound better now?
Yes.
Yes, you sound better.
It was doing it from my computer and not the headset for some
That's
reason.
what I presumed.
So this is your guys' charter.
Oh, there's text at the bottom. Good.
There is text.
That color scheme is not.
It is not, no. That is very true.
Be it known that the bearer of this charter has been charged by the Sword Lords of Restov, acting upon the greater good and authority vested within them by the office of the Lord Mayor of Restov, the right of exploration and travel within the wilderness regions known as Restov's hinterlands and the Greenbelt. Exploration should be limited to an area west and south of Oleg's trading post, no further than the banks of the Shrike and Skunk rivers. The carrier of this charter should strive against banditry and other unlawful behavior to be encountered. The punishment for unrepentant banditry remains, as always, execution by sword or rope.
What is the punishment for repentant banditry?
Don't know. Unclear. I think that's where we get into reparative justice.
That's where we come in.
We can work with that.
Mhm.
I mean, there is a question about repentant bandits, are they guilty of banditry? If they repent.
Yeah.
I mean,
That sounds like a very
presumably.
Catholic assessment.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a very Saren Ray assessment.
So I'm right.
I mean, and to be fair, if we don't see them engaged in banditry, they're not. There's no banditry to repent. So
As
Schrodinger's
far as I'm
banditry.
concerned.
Well, what we could do is we could have maybe like first time kind of thing where we're like, okay, give everything you have back, and then maybe we could like tag them like you do birds, and then if we run into them again and they're banditing, if they're doing more banditry, then we could be like, hey, okay, we gave you your chance and now you're doing it again. So
What's gonna keep them from taking the tag off?
I don't know.
This is how
Maybe
we
we
end up
could.
clipping ears.
Yeah, we can't just brand people.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could just do like a brand situation.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
want to
think that's
brand
really-
them with your mark?
Yeah, first time banditry branding. Second time banditry jail. Like,
So
Yeah.
if you
It
do
was
that,
an idea.
all right, are we the East India Trading Company?
We've reinvented capitalism.
Ah,
Well, presumably we have to to figure out a way, because if they find out that, what happens if they find out that we're not killing the bandits? That's my worry.
Well, I mean, if the banditry stops, that's what they care about, I think.
Yeah. So we just have to be really, really good at rehabilitating them.
Yes, or really, really good at murdering the ones who don't rehabilitate. Either or.
If they don't repent,
Probably both.
you must kill them.
I mean, that is the law.
That
Yeah.
is the law.
That is the law.
And unfortunately, we're cops now, I guess. Fuck.
Fuck.
I mean, it's gonna be like, are like? I thought we were not just mapping. I thought we were making our own kingdom. Does that not mean we get to make our own laws?
Not yet. We have to
Not
be.
yet.
We can't.
Oh,
We've been given a charter. We can't establish. We haven't been able to. We have to clear the area, and then we get permission to establish the kingdom.
So how much do you guys know about Catholic diocese? Because
0. Absolutely none.
I've done my best
I-
to dump it from my brain.
I probably am the one who knows the most out of this group, I'm guessing.
Can you tell the dead way I'm looking at the camera?
So the largest Catholic diocese on the planet by land
Mm-hmm.
is the Diocese of Orlando.
Because didn't they get like Antarctica or something?
No, they got the moon.
Oh,
Because when you explore and when you colonize a new land, until a diocese is created in that new land, all of the land that is explored and colonized by Catholics go to the diocese from which those explorers left.
and since they left from Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
They left from Cape
Or-
Canaveral, which falls under the Orlando diocese. Yes.
Yeah.
I bring that up because although we're not actually talking about diocese, the government kind of works that way in this. Until you establish your new government, which your charter does not allow,
We are essentially creating a vassal state under the government that we're leaving from.
Yes.
I'm not even sure it's that much because I don't think we have that much control.
No.
Right, exactly. That's the whole point of exchange, is that if we get the kingdom, if we manage to actually do the things that they want us to do, which includes following the laws that they have according to banditry.
Mhm.
Oh, the loopholes of politics. Politics, wow. Who can talk to that? Not
Okay.
again.
So,
I'm sorry. I keep, like, fucking around with my camera, guys.
a representative of Lady Jamandi comes to you after the hall has sort of cleared out, and he says, in recognition of what you did last night, you are free to stay here tonight and into tomorrow morning. Also, any of the equipment of the bandits, you can take your pick of it. I will say that anything that is left over will be used by the Sword Lords, but it is only fair that you can take what you want. We have them all arranged in the armory. I can escort you to it if you so choose.
I want to get me some axes.
That's sweet. Doesn't hurt to take a look.
Yeah, I might as well. I realized I was miscalculating Gorek's encumbrance, and I actually have like 90 pounds to work with.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's everything that I listed the last couple of times. So there are about 100 bolts left. There are 11 sets of leather armor. There are...
Sorry.
No, you're good. 15 daggers, and a great axe, and 11 sets of black clothes.
Are you going to be throwing daggers much, Marlo?
I might. Also, I probably should pick up some daggers and an axe.
Yeah, because I feel like if anyone's going to be using that many knives,
There-
it's probably going to be you.
There are no axes.
No
There
hand
is-
axes. Okay.
Yeah, there is. I know you didn't mention it, Worm, and I don't know if it's because I neglected to mention that I dropped it. But that battle axe that I used and promptly regretted using, I dropped, but I would like to pick it back up because I've learned nothing.
It is back among the weapons in the armory.
I have a question.
You probably don't want to grab it
Why?
because it is in among the weapons and not part of the stacks.
It wasn't a bandit.
It was not a bandit's.
Gotcha.
You took it from this room.
I'll take the great axe then.
So you have 2 great axes? Okay.
Yes.
What
You never
is-
know.
How many daggers can I carry on me at any given time?
That's up to you and
As-
your weight.
Yeah.
What
Make
was
sure
your
you have the
question?
encumbrance rules turned on your character sheet.
Lovely.
How
What was your
Um,
question?
They don't have the thing I want. Never mind.
Okay.
I need to at some point probably get the favored weapon of my god, which I just googled, and it is a whip.
I believe that is true. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm just like, of course it is.
Okay, so
There is a shocking number of gods whose favorite weapons are whips.
okay, so it says my carrying capacity is 240 pounds.
That sounds right.
I only have 25 pounds of weight on me.
You should have a little bit more than that. Do you have any armor?
No.
Okay. You have a bunch of instruments, but they probably don't weigh a ton.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't think
but-
they count towards my weight.
guess what, guys?
Mhm.
What?
You can go shopping if you would
I
like.
love shopping. I love
Mm.
shopping.
Shopping sounds great.
Shopping. Oh my gosh, we got raided.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did.
We did. That is why I thanked the wonderful Bree when they raided in.
Okay, I
Okay,
missed
so-
that.
Father, how many daggers are in this room that I can take?
15.
Can I take all of those?
That's up to the party. But also remember, these daggers all have ebony handle or ebony pommels. They are identifiable. They're
Mm,
not just like generic daggers.
mm.
I mean, you can
Mm.
take them and see if you can find a weaponsmith who will trade you.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Okay. Time to add 15 daggers to my inventory.
Out of so you have 17 daggers,
Or yeah, let's see how that works.
and you want to change to 2 hand axes.
I don't know. You guys are the ones who keep telling me to like backpack.
So are we going shopping?
So yeah, real quick, you guys, you can find just normally priced items. I think you guys have. How much gold do you have right now?
I have.
The 50 gold we got was individual, right? So I
Yes.
added
Yes.
that to my character sheet. Okay.
I haven't divided it up. I can do that real quick.
I mean, you don't have to divide it up at the moment. What's the total?
I have 198 that I've got entered in.
Okay. So that would be about 49 plus the 50 that you guys got. So you guys all have about 99 gold.
12.
Well, I don't know how much of that is party versus mine. Some of it was mine to begin with, so it's a little under that.
Let's see.
I mean, I have 107.
I have 95.
Okay, so apparently I don't have that much in my backpack that I can hold. So we're gonna. Yikes! Big yikes!
How much does 17 daggers weigh?
Well, it's just that
17
they can't store it in their backpack.
That's the problem.
Yeah, you can only carry so much in your backpack.
Boy.
Truthfully, Gorik was hoarding hand crossbows mostly to sell because they seem fiddly, complicated, and hard to make. So
yes,
Yeah.
you can sell them, and I will say that Rostov is a big enough city. You can find people who will give you the price in the player's handbook for anything you want to sell and anything you want to buy.
Can I
Gorik-
sell these daggers I just put in my inventory?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm happy to do that, and I do want to note Gorik does have a -1 charisma modifier. So if I can still find folks that'll pay me 75 gold for a hand crossbow, that's great. And Gorik is not the most savvy of merchants.
I don't imagine that Gorik will be going on his own. I imagine the group will be going.
Yeah, I'll do
Um,
this for it.
Solid. He does need a babysitter.
I just don't want us to go in depth on a shopping trip.
That makes sense to me.
So I'm
so-
selling 15 daggers at 2 gold a piece, so that's 30 gold, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Boy, I'm just gonna do this. Manage inventory, thank you.
And
Oh, I
then
obviously hadn't put some money in. We have way more money.
Well, I've got quite a bit of gold to oh, wow, okay, hold on. Math. So the hand crossbow hoard that Gorik had accumulated was worth a total of 600 gold, which is 150 per person.
Jesus.
Do we want to split that up?
That's
to
your call,
Reese.
Gorik. Those were your crossbows, bud.
Then the call is split it up 150 for everybody.
Heard,
I
thank
will
you, my
add
man.
another 150 to my character sheet.
now remember,
80 and a-
coins do have weight.
Yes, I
Gotcha.
have included coin weight on my character sheet.
I have to turn that on now.
Yeah, I think
That was
it's
turned on.
off for me as well. Let me make sure I turn that on.
I will triple check.
Yeah. So from the party money that we have accumulated, it's 51 for each person.
So I've got that on now.
If I remember right, it's 50 coins per pound.
Yep. Okay.
50 and then 30 from the crossbow. Or no, 30 from the daggers. 50 from the
How likely is there to be places to buy magic items?
Like what kind of magic items?
You tell me.
Like if it's not on the if it's not in the general equipment list,
Then no, okay.
At least for right now, no. It would.
Got it.
The in-game justification is going to be it would take you too long to find a place and see what they have.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have armor. Light armor, leather.
You might want to get a better set of light armor.
Okay. What would be a better set?
I am looking. So the best kind of light armor that that is not magical would be studded leather armor, which will give you 1 more AC, and it costs 45 gold.
I would like to purchase a wagon
Okay.
and a horse.
Okay.
Can I name the horse?
Yes,
I'm naming the horse Marmalade.
that would be 85 gold, and I have 85 gold to spend.
Great.
Okay.
Do we have a map? Oh, sorry to interrupt.
There is going to be a map, and we'll be getting to that.
Can a
I'm-
single horse pull a wagon, or do I need 2 horses?
2 horses would be better.
Okay, then I will get a second horse. I have the gold to do that.
Don't forget about upkeep, though.
Yes.
You are going to have to feed them.
Yes.
The
Feed
second
per
horse
day
is
is like 5
boysenberry.
copper. I'm not worried about it.
I'm just having flashbacks to the dogs.
From Rime of the Frost Maiden. Yep.
I think that the map question is because I figure unless somebody already has a map of the region, I think it would be appropriate to buy one.
There really aren't maps of the region, which is part of why you have to map the region.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I
That
just
was
don't.
part of our job.
I know that mapping the region we're actually going to be in, but I was assuming that there was a map like of up to the edge of the region,
Of like the idea of it.
of like not necessarily like of where we're going to be mapping, but like
Where
at
we're
least-
at now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can easily get a map of Brevoy. That's not a problem.
Then I'm probably gonna throw the rest of my money at potions of healing and maybe some antitoxin because I don't know what's out there, and we've been doing a lot of almost dying.
Yeah, what did
Yeah.
you say was our limit on how many potions of healing can we buy? Is it limited by money?
No. Yes, it is limited by money.
Okay.
And I think they're like 50 gold each.
Okay.
Okay. I have put the wagon on my inventory because I spent for it, but it can hold 400 pounds. So if you want me to put things into the wagon, let me know, and I will add it to the wagon inventory.
I can
Got
also
it.
make bags of holding.
Yes, because you're level 2 now.
That's good to know. Oh, also apparently the draft horses can also carry things as well, so they have a carrying capacity that we can store things on them as well.
A
they're gonna
draft
be
horse.
pulling. Huh?
Yeah, a draft horse. Since they're going to be pulling a wagon.
The wagon, yeah.
Yep, that is going to be their carrying capacity. Is wagon.
Yeah, but hypothetically, if they can actually hypothetically they can if we wanted to like take them off the wagon
Yes.
and leave the wagon somewhere. So I am going to rename the horses appropriately.
So Marmalade and Boysenberry.
Marmalade and Boysenberry.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That one is Marmalade. And this one is Boysenberry.
So yeah, I assume it's going to be about evening time when you guys rejoin, or you re-go to the manor, and there's not a meal in the Great Hall tonight. Although you guys are led to like a smaller dining room where it's just going to be the 4 of you, and it's good food. It's not quite last night's feast, but it's still plenty of good food. Because you are the guests of a very, very rich person.
Mhm.
She can afford anything. And then I assume you guys start out the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you guys leave Restov and let's go to the map of the Stolen Lands. You guys should... The right half of the map, you guys should be able to see it. Can you?
Yes.
Here, I
Map
gave...
is still loading for me.
Gave it... I put Goric down...
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep.
Okay. So, I wanted to explain to you guys real quick what the 3 lines mean.
Mhm.
So the blue line is where the borders of Restov are on the map, or Brevoy, Rostland, etc. The red line is the edge of the area where they can basically regularly exert control and force. And the black line is where they always... Oh, shit. You guys are actually right here. Are where you guys will... where they always are exerting their force. So, inside the black line is... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so within the black line, it's solidly their land.
Yes.
Within the red line, it's a little bit iffy, but still pretty much their land.
Yes.
And it gets progressively less, so.
Yes. The blue line is where they have claimed, but I mean, really, they send patrols along that road, and that's kind of about it. Which is why it only goes to the red line.
Now, what is BL1? I think is what that is. No, RL1, maybe. I don't know. It's got the red line over it.
Yes, that would be RL1. That's Oleg's. You're just not there yet.
Okay.
So you are at BV1, which is Rostov. Yep. And then each hex from corner to corner is 12 miles. And you can travel 24 miles in a day. So you'll be going 2 hexes a day. And on the first
Why does that
day,
body of water look like a bird?
That's what I thought immediately.
because it does.
It looks like a tattoo bird.
It reminds me of the stylized swallows you'll see in like movies and video games and stuff.
Yeah. You're right.
Okay.
Like, I'm thinking Hunger Games and The Witcher both use that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the first day, you guys make it to a small town called... What is the town's name? Into the Wild. Yep. Were you
Just looking at the map.
Okay. Okay, this would be Navitka's Crossing. It is where you would cross the Shrike River to go south on this side of the Tors of Levines, which is what that mountain range is called. It is a small town of 140 people, and you are not They clearly don't love you guys, but you are accepted. Like, you can stay in an inn here in this town.
Mhm.
And if you guys would like, you can roll a diplomacy check to see if you learn anything interesting.
What
Uh,
is
you mean?
diplomacy?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you
Yes.
mean?
It's no longer diplomacy. It's not gather information either, because fuck off.
Ow.
Persuasion, I guess, would be the best one.
What about investigation?
No.
Yeah, you could do an investigation check, but make it charisma based instead of
That
wisdom-based.
actually, yes.
Yeah.
That would be a good one. Yes.
Mhm.
How do I do that?
You would roll a charisma check, and then if you're proficient in investigation, you add your proficiency bonus. If you're not, just use a charisma check.
If you're not, since you're a bard, you add 1 because you have jack of all trades.
Right.
Okay. So I'm just gonna run a charisma check. How do I do this by running a charisma check? Because I don't know how to do it. I missed, like, half the
So
word.
you could just click the charisma button,
Yeah.
and then add 1 to whatever you roll.
Oh, okay.
Unless you are proficient in investigation, are you?
I have
You got
+2
a
in
21. I
investigation.
wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I have a +2 to investigation.
Well, yeah, but that's not
I'm not
proficiency.
proficient, no.
Yeah, so yeah,
It doesn't. I have half proficiency according to the chart.
which is why you get the +1.
Okay, cool. I rolled a 22.
Okay. So, one of the members of the town lets you know that some of the bandits in the green belt wear amulets that resemble a stag's skull. These bandits belong to a debased cult dedicated to a hideous animal demon.
I don't like the sound of that. Animals should be our friends.
Not food?
Well, I mean, they can be food. Fish can be food too, but, like, you should make friends with things.
Does anyone else want to make that roll?
Do I know anything about this cult?
No.
Damn.
I mean, I guess Gorik will try. This is not gonna.
Okay.
Oh my god! I rolled a nat 20.
Oh my god, fat dragon. You did it, buddy.
Gorik just finds somebody he clicks with.
Apparently.
So Gorik learns from a guy that he drank a couple pints with. To the west, there's an old ruin built long ago by the elves. Some say it's full of treasure, but the others say it's haunted by angry spirits and worse.
Could be
I want to go
both.
there.
So how about
I wanna go
Reese
there.
and Lovely? Do you guys want to make the check?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a charisma check with persuasion.
Well, you said investigation, so we're going with that.
Okay, well, I don't have proficiency, so it's just a straight charisma check for me.
Okay.
And it's not great. That's an 8.
Okay. You hear a bunch of people complaining about the army that went through yesterday.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Do I have the option to do a persuasion check?
No.
Damn. All right. Well.
Sorry, we kind of fucked you over with that one, NB.
Come on.
So
Is
is this
Gorik and I are the least
3.
like
is this just a random place in town, or did we make it to that Oleg's place?
No,
it's just a
Oleg's
random
is
town.
days away still.
Days away. Okay.
It's at least a 4-day hike, 3 days. We can go 2 hexes a day. Yeah, it's another 3 days.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's really funny that Gork and I, the two who are most notably not good with people,
Are the
mean,
ones
you
who
are
heard
the
some
bard, though.
rumors.
are somehow the ones who hear the things.
That is the
Probably
bard's
because
job.
probably because you didn't actually go up and talk to them. You just kind of listened.
Also, I'm nosy as hell.
So yes, Reese also hears all about the army that passed through yesterday.
Do they mean like the wraiths?
They call themselves the Varnlings, and
Armlings.
they came to the crossing, and then they headed due south.
Isn't Varn the name of that one guy who's like
Mm.
No.
It's,
Oh, yeah.
It's not Magar Varn?
Yes.
It is Magar
Yeah.
Varn. Yeah.
it was his people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, who's who? Oh
well,
my
did
god,
he
guys.
maybe he just passed through here on his way to wherever he's going?
That's
Yeah,
probably
he's
what
going in a
happened.
different
I'm not-
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
Yes.
passed through this area. But
Yeah.
anyways, yo guys, so this is unrelated to what's going on right now, but if you know anything about me, I'm very good at like mysteries. I love watching mysteries with my partner. And we recently finished a brand new murder mystery called The Residence.
Mm-hmm.
The main actress is the actress who played Crazy Eyes in Orange is the New Black, and she's black
Mhm.
autistic excellence in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, they managed to bamboozle me. I didn't know who the killer was until the
Ooh.
very end when they revealed it, and that never happens. I've never been happier to be wrong in my life.
Oh, and Giancarlo Esposito?
Giancarlo Esposito, who my mother has met, by the way. My mother met him in person. Like, he came to her restaurant once, and he was really nice and very gay, and
I've
played
heard
with
he's
all
a
the
pretty
busboys. It
great
was
guy.
delightful.
I hear
Oh, yeah,
he's a
he was
pretty great
delightful.
guy.
Tipped amazingly, from what I heard. But yeah, no, that show is great. It's to watch The Residence on Netflix if you'd like a murder mystery that can and will pull the rug out from under you in the best way possible, and
And
everything lines up.
Al Franken?
He's back to
He-
acting? Cool.
Randall
Oh.
Park is in it. I
I
love
think-
Randall Park.
He's enjoyable in things.
I like Randall Park a lot.
Yeah.
I think he's fun. I love him. He's my favorite, and will you or always be my maybe.
Yeah, he is one of the people who wrote that movie.
I know. Phil and I watch it all the time. It's like a yearly rewatch for us.
So yeah,
So okay, so Varn's people just came through here.
yep, they came through yesterday and left first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You missed them by like 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them stayed outside of town. They just kind of used the town to cross the bridge to go south.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And people
And then-
aren't super happy about that.
Gorick and Marlowe, you guys overheard something else, yeah?
Yeah, there's apparently an old, maybe elvish ruin to the west that could be full of treasure, could be full of evil ghosts, maybe things worse than that, maybe all of those things. It sounds very exciting.
It does
That
sound very
sounds
exciting. I
exciting.
actually forgot what I was told. I was so excited about the Elvish Castle and the evil ghosts.
I didn't get all of it because my brain is mush today, but there's bandits wearing animal skulls that for some kind of weird cult.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yes, the stag necklace cult thing. Yeah,
they
there's-
Stag
worship
skull.
some sort of. Do they like? Was it worship some sort of animal demon affiliated?
animal demon. Yeah.
They belong to a debased cult dedicated to a hideous animal demon.
Yeah, that sounds like worship to me.
Demons. Huh.
Demons.
You see lovely Blanche at the mention of demons.
Did we want to check out this ruin?
Yes.
You don't know anything more about it.
I mean, it sounds pretty rad.
Elvish
Yeah.
ruin. Potentially ghosts. Possible treasure. I don't see any cons here.
I mean, it's probably going to have beautiful architecture. It is a bit of a out of the way from what we're supposed to be doing, but
You don't know where it
Out of the-
is.
is
Oh,
there?
okay. So
It's
It could
just
be on
to
the
the
way.
west.
To the west, and we're going southwest. So who's to say it isn't southwest?
Do we
well,
know
we're
where?
going directly west for a few days, so.
Yeah.
We could talk to Oleg. Oleg might know.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah, so maybe we can put a pin in it, go to Oleg's to like set up our base, and then come back.
I like
Sure.
that sound of it.
Okay. Put this in the pinned side quest category, Scribe.
Definitely a side quest.
I'm not worried that the ruin will go anywhere. The cult activity may get out of hand while we leave, but that doesn't
But
really have anything
that's
to
in the
do
green
with us.
belt. That's not like that's way south of us.
Oh, so that's actually in the green belt, so that we're gonna run into that anyways.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later.
Okay. I
Trouble
thought
will
people
come looking
wanted
for
us to
us.
do stuff in town, and I was like, okay,
We
No.
were not given any in-town quests now.
cool, cool.
Very courteous of them.
Come here, Fluffy.
They kind of want you guys to leave as soon as possible.
Yeah, sounds
Aw.
like it.
That's
But I'm a paying customer if they're in.
They're so
Yeah.
respectful of our brisk schedule here.
They
Oh,
they very happily take your money.
Oh, speaking of which, I need to check to see something. 35 gold. I'm going to subtract 35 gold to keep the wagon in a stable for the night.
Okay.
I can perform upkeep on the horses and wagon stuff.
Okay.
So don't worry
Okay.
about that.
If it's help, I mean, I think Gorik would want to help, but if this is something that Lovely would prefer to do alone, then
I mean, if you want to physically help, like in character with the maintenance of the horrors, that's of the horses, horrors, with the horses, that's great. But as far as the actual like,
yeah, not the formal action. I don't assume that's mechanically.
yeah, I'm more
Sorry.
the actual maintenance of the I guess bookkeeping of it all. I can handle.
Yeah, physically in character, Gorik would like to help.
Marlo likes talking to the horses.
So
What are the horses' personalities like? Have you used the speak with animals spell on them yet?
No.
Are the horses terrified of Reese?
no.
Really, the fire doesn't bother them?
I mean, you're not actively fire.
You're just slightly singed.
Yes, you are not actively fire, therefore no. So basically the entire first day and most of the second day, it's fairly flat with some hills here and there, and the path keeps pretty close to the river's edge. Like far enough away that you're not gonna fall in, but and it is like this is a dirt road. It's not just ruts in the middle of like a grassland. It is a full on road. And then near the end of the day on day 2, you guys reach a point where the path, like the road veers off to the right, but there's a footpath that continues straight ahead, and you hear some distant roaring, like constant, not like roar, 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 but just like a constant roaring of sound. What do you guys want to do?
And the constant roar is coming from like that straight path?
Yeah, it's coming from straight ahead.
Does it sound like does it clearly sound like an animal or being roaring, or does it sound like it could be like water?
It could be water. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
it is a never-ending, um, almost never changing sound.
Probably a waterfall then. I say we should go check it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, we're supposed to be mapping this place.
Yeah.
No, you're not in the area where you're supposed to map yet.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
It's south and west of Oleg's. Like
Okay.
you are on the South Roastland Road right now.
Okay.
This is a well-known place.
Well, then
Okay.
maybe we should just keep going.
And also, like, the wagon couldn't take the footpath.
no.
And I don't want to leave the wagon out.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not obvious there's anything worth taking sidetracking for.
Hmm.
Um, so there's a pretty decent elevation change. Over the course of a mile, there are 5 waterfalls. Um,
All right.
and the road goes well out and then like switchbacks down for like a mile.
So-
But yeah, go ahead, Gorik.
Oh no, I was just commenting. Please.
Um, but once you guys have basically like finished the switchbacking, it's the end of the day. Like you guys have had a full day of travel at this point.
I think it's time we make camp.
There is an area kind of a little ways off to the side of the road that this looks like it's a prepared area where people frequently camp. You seem to be the only ones there today, but it seems to be an area that is just kind of designed for people to camp in.
Does it look like anyone was there recently?
Not super recently.
Seems like a decent place to stay for the night.
Okay. So yeah, you guys want to you guys just kind of end the day, and that has brought you do. RL4 is where the waterfalls are. So you've made it to here. After like fairly early into the next day, you enter a grassland. Off to either side of the road, there are grasses that are between waist and almost shoulder height. So just like wild grasses as far as you can see, off the side of the road. And nothing of interest happens that day. And you move ever closer to Oleg's. So, on the last day, day 4. This morning, as you break camp, there was an excitement that wasn't there the last couple of days. Unless something delays you today, you're not going to camp tonight. At the end of your day of travel, you should be reaching Oleg Levitin's trading post. What passes through everyone's mind as you think about reaching the trading post?
I'm wondering if anyone else is planning to try to use this as their base. I know Varn didn't think anyone would, but they did mention it in the ceremony.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. I think Lovely is kind of just looking forward to getting this journey underway, like properly. There's been a lot of like anticipation. And it's the unknown is very, very scary, but also exciting. And that's what we're delving into.
Okay. What about the other two?
I think Gorik is curious what Oleg and Svetlana will be like and is also eager to start exploring and mapping areas.
Okay. And Marlo.
Arlo's mostly just kind of excited to start seeing more of this big, wide, dry world.
Okay.
They've heard that there's all sorts of birds out there.
Burps.
They're really excited about all the kinds of birds.
Burps.
Yeah.
They don't make any sense. How do they get up there? It's all wild to Marlo.
With those thoughts and one last check over your campsite, you set off. Just as the last few days, the road is hardened earth. It seems well traveled enough that it's not, as I mentioned, just two ruts with grass between them, but a full on road. Wild grasses ripple in the morning breeze on both sides of the road. As the sun climbs higher, the breeze gives way to the constant drone of insects in the grass, and everything gets hot and still. How do you combat the boredom and fatigue that comes with walking down what seems to be an endless road on a hot, still day?
Um,
Can I talk to the
I
horses?
The horses don't really want to talk. They want to focus on pulling the wagon.
Okay, then I will let them focus. I just
Truth-
wanted to know if they would like to chit chat.
Hey, Marlo. Play us a
Yes.
tune.
Yeah, okay, take your pick of instrument. There's like 8.
Roll a d8.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Ah.
Here, I'll roll one real quick.
I got it.
Okay.
I got an 8.
What's
The
an
viol.
eight? Okay.
Or no, well, yeah, no. The fiddle. The fiddle suits this adventure.
Yeah, a viol is not one that you can play and walk.
No. We're gonna play a fiddle.
Okay. I do love that the difference between a fiddle and a violin is how you play them.
True.
They are the same instrument.
Yes.
Which is why, if you're gonna play in Texas, you gotta have a violin.
So, you're fiddling.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Lovely begins to skip.
Very nice.
Are you fiddling with your fiddle?
I'm not gonna justify the open answer, father. That's a trick question, father.
Gorik, how do you combat the boredom and fatigue?
Truthfully, between Marlo playing music and just there being other folks around that Gorik enjoys, this is the most stimulation that Gorik, well, before finding Marlo, since Gorik was wandering around by himself, he's just glad to be here. This is great for him.
Okay.
I bet Marlo was just like a complete culture shock for Gorik.
Yes, but I also think Gorik was getting even weirder from going from being like mostly isolated to completely isolated for a long time. That it was also just very refreshing to have somebody to be around consistently.
Marlo is from a very social group of fish people.
maybe occasionally overwhelming, but in a good way.
Um,
Reese, how do you handle it?
Handle what? Sorry.
The boredom and fatigue that comes with walking down what seems to be an endless road on a hot, still day.
I am probably fiddling with something.
Okay. Just not a fiddle.
No, not a fiddle in this case.
Ooh, maybe I could get Reese to make me an electric fiddle. That'd be fun.
I doubt it.
well, a magically amplified fiddle at least.
Maybe
That'll
someday.
Ugh, that's a
So-
that's a DM for no.
No, that is not.
Currently, I can make a bag of holding, a wand of magic detection, a wand of secrets. You know, I wrote a third thing down, and now I don't remember what it was.
Now it's a secret third thing.
There's a secret fourth thing.
Now it's a secret fourth thing.
If we plan on it at like in another couple of levels, I get a fifth one, and we can pick what it is.
Nice.
It's a common magic item.
Yay.
That's pretty swanky.
So, Marlo, how do you handle everything being so dry on a day like today? The road is dusty. It's a hot day.
How far away is the river?
You've left the river behind.
Okay, cool.
So like
Like
a day and a half behind you.
okay, all right. Like every like half hour or so, Marlo's just gonna stop playing and then just bother Reese into doing a prestidigitation of like a little rain cloud over their head for like 2 seconds. And then they just kind of like shake like a wet dog for a second and then carry on. But they're not having a great time with it. They're definitely losing steam.
Goric, how do you deal with it if everything being so hot?
Yeah, getting very sweaty. Goric did buy an extra water skin in town for either himself or Marlo. And
He's so thoughtful.
I think seeing Marlo with the prestidigitation, he's going to be torn. Like there's going to definitely be some internal conflict about whether that means he can just drink it, but he's going to at least offer to Marlo first because that was his original reason for buying it, was more for Marlo than himself. But frankly, the water skin that's just Gorik's is probably empty very quickly. And then he's just sweating.
Marlo will suggest that he shed some of his like pile of furs.
Yeah, I guess. And
He'll take like one of those 8 vests of bear skin off.
he'll like crankily
Like, he doesn't have
comply.
sleeves, but he's wearing like 18 layers and he has no sleeves.
The difference in Gorik's attire there's also the difference where Gorik has gone from wearing like stacks and stacks of like fur and leather to wearing stacks and stacks of fur and leather over half plate. So he's definitely angry hot. So he'll crankily comply, and he will immediately, like after about 4 layers come off, he'll start to be more tolerable to be around. Mm-hmm. And we'll finally say thank you for recommending that I take some layers off.
And remember, under the armor is several more layers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They will tell him to like get some water in his beard and his hair, because that'll help cool him off.
Well, we'll have a second person who's also like shaking like a dog, just water everywhere. This giant sphere of hair.
You know, Reese is probably going to be very done with us by the time we get to wherever we're going.
There's a reason why I'm not questioning Reese on how they're handling the day.
Yes, because they're dealing with us. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something silly. But when Marlo is like talking at Goric about taking off layers, it like even though Goric is like at about the same age or older than Marlo goes all like very big sibling mode.
No,
And it
Marlo is
no.
probably the oldest person.
Oh, so Marlo just automatically goes big sibling mode. Easy money.
So, being an elf, Marlo reached adulthood at 100.
Yeah. Okay.
So Marlo is probably pretty close to as old as everyone else in the party put together.
That makes sense, yeah, actually.
Well, that's just chronologically.
Yeah,
Socially
yes.
is a different story. Like I said, like it's Marlo's basically in their 20s. Most elves we're going to run into are going to treat Marlo like a small child.
because Marlo emotionally, like they were in their family school, and then they left their family school like 6 months ago to travel the land people world. And that's about their life. Like they spent like 100 something years with their family school and didn't leave their little area of the ocean. And then they're like, I gotta tell people about how cool my mom is.
Especially because your family would be like, no.
Yeah, my family did not abide by my special interest. They also didn't understand why I wanted to see animals so much because there's animals in the ocean, but those aren't fuzzy. They're soft, sure, but they're not fluffy. Have you ever pet a cow? That's so soft, and they have those big sad eyes, and they
I
mouth you.
have a desire to find a place to get yarn so I can make Marlo amigurumi stuffed animals.
Marlo will make a special bag just to carry them.
I mean,
That'll go in their other bag.
Marlo might want to get Reese to make a special bag to hold them, since Reese can make magic bags.
I will pay Reese money to commission a bag of holding for tiny stuffed animals made by my friend.
I am limited to 2 items a day, like that are created. So
I'm not asking for it now, and I will pay you later when it comes to it.
I have to buy yarn from a city, from a place that has yarn.
We have to acquire yarn first.
Mm-hmm.
So, Space MB, I think Meg's going to be a little bit sad now that we're in session 3 and you can make 2 bags of holding a day every day.
well, I'm using one of the spots to make myself Wand of the War Mage.
Okay. So as the sun lowers in the sky, the heat starts to dissipate and the breeze comes back, giving respite from both the heat and the fatigue. You're still a few miles away when you first notice it, a watchtower raising up out of the grass. Soon you notice 3 others. They seem to be fairly close together and in a square shape. This must be it. The trading post you spent the last 4 days making your way toward.
Yay!
Yay.
A 10-foot tall palisade connects each watchtower to the closer 2. With your destination in sight, your packs feel a little lighter, your feet a little less sore, and your pace quickens slightly. Not even the sight of the dark, gnarled forest a few miles past the trading post can dampen your mood this evening. This is the place you plan to make your home base as you explore the green belts and take on the Stag Lord. When your story is told, arriving at this trading post will be the start of Chapter 1. About half a mile from the trading post, the road you've been walking angles north, continuing on. There's a path almost as large as the road itself that makes its way to the south end of the post, where a 30-foot wide wooden gate stands open, as if expecting you. A kind-looking woman stands not too far inside the gate and smiles at you as you enter. She seems to be in her late 20s, with light blue eyes and hair the color of flax fiber. Most of her hair is covered in a blue headscarf that seems to be to keep her hair out of the way and free from dust. She wears a simple white dress and simple leather boots. You notice a slightly older-looking man fixing a roof on a nearby building, but this woman has your attention. Welcome, welcome. I am Svetlana, and you must be the adventurers we were told to expect. She
We're told
glances.
to expect us.
She glances at the man as he puts down his tools and starts making his way down to you. You would guess the man is in his early 30s, and Carolines are already setting into his face. His hair is kept short and is as brown as his eyes. His mutton chops frame his tanned face. He is also wearing a rather simple outfit, although his shirt is off-white and his pants brown. Before he starts down the ladder, he wipes sweat from his brow and leaves a dirt stain across his forehead. Svetlana refocuses her attention on you. Please, come in, she motions behind her. I have a nice stew bubbling on the fire, and, as she finishes her sentence, you see self-satisfaction as she smiles, and even does a small wiggle of excitement. I am quite proud to say the loaves of bread just came out about 15 minutes ago. I guessed your arrival time almost perfectly. She finishes right as the man walks up and puts his hand lightly on the small of her back. Looking at each of you in turn, he says, I'm Oleg. Welcome to our trading post. His gruffness standing in contrast to her warmth. Svetlana has made dinner. Let her show you to the meal while I wash up. A crooked grin flashes over his face. After all, can't sit down to the missus' table all dirty.
But adorable.
Svetlana shoots him a look of mock disapproval and then leads you into the main building of the trading post. The table is set for 7. She moves a pot from the fireplace to next to the table. As Svetlana starts ladling out a very hearty-looking stew into each bowl. Now, I'm sure you are wondering why we're expecting you. Bandits have been shaking us down for the last 3 months. Collecting taxes is what they call it. She motions for each person to sit down and starts filling mugs with wine from a bottle clearly opened for this occasion. Oleg has sent requests to Restov for aid with every hunter and trapper that heads back to civilization. Yesterday, we got a message from a visitor. It said that there will be a small group of guards who will be posted at our trading post to start patrolling the area, but they won't be able to set out for a week. It is also stated that a small group of adventurers would be stopping by as they begin to explore the Greenbelt. As she says that, stairs that lead upstairs inside this building, a familiar figure walks down them. It's Lindsay.
Love Lindsay.
Yo!
Lindsay!
Lindsay takes a seat at the table. Svetlana says, please begin. As she sits down, Oleg walks in and sits at the head of the table. I assume everyone starts tucking in?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh yeah, we're eating.
Okay.
I'm drinking like a whole pitcher of water just myself. Just glug.
The stew is amazing. It's a nice thick broth with venison, boar, wild onions, carrot, parsley. It's much better than the dried rations you've had the last couple of nights. Now, it doesn't compare to the feast from a few nights ago, but it doesn't compare in the same way a homely cottage can't compare to a mansion. The bread is still warm from the oven. The crust is nice and firm, but gives way to a light and airy interior. It soaks up the stew very well. The wine is quality wine, but again, it does not compare to the feast in the same way. So what do you guys do next?
Catch up with Lindsay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Lindsay says that she had left first thing yesterday morning, or not yesterday morning, but the morning right after the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not have a group you're traveling with?
No, but I figured after that horrible night, I should definitely write about you guys.
That's very
So,
kind. Are you?
Yes?
That's. Does that mean you'll be traveling with us, or do you plan to stay here with Oleg and Svetlana?
Oh, if you'll have me, I'll travel with you guys.
We have a whole wagon. You're welcome to come.
Oh, that's very nice.
Our horses are named Marmalade and Boysenberry.
She jots that down in her book.
It's very important. Thank you.
I'm glad you were able to make it here safe and sound.
Yeah, Magar Varn recommended the place to us.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah, I'll say so.
Yeah, he seems that way. I think he was just kind of cranky when we first met him.
He might have been hangry. We hadn't had dinner yet.
That's a good point.
Lindsay kind of shrugs. Oleg and Svetlana kind of look at the two of you with with kind of a bemused smile on their face. And actually, what we can do is I can go to this map, grab these, and we can go to this map. Oh, it's slightly different than I remembered, but you guys would all be sitting at this table, and Oleg would be here, and Svetlana would be here. And then Lindsay, I will have to I'll have to find her and add her in eventually. But over here, this is very clearly a barn, and your horses can go in.
Oh, perfect.
Are there other animals?
There is one other horse in there named Claptrap.
Claptrap?
Claptrap.
I love them.
Oleg and Svetlana, how much do I owe you guys for letting us stay here?
They kind of look at each other, and Oleg says, "Help us with these bandits." And he's very unhappy as Svetlana says, "Yes, yes. You will have free room and board if you help us with these bandits."
Okay. I have another question to ask.
Yes.
Do you by any chance need any help around the trading post?
No. Why?
Oh, just curious.
No, we're pretty. Other than the bandits, we're pretty set.
Okay. All right. I was afraid you might say that. All right. Okay.
You were hoping they would have something else for us to help out with, that you could skip the bandits.
No, I was hoping that if we found some bandits, we could get them a job here.
Oh. Yeah, that would make sense. That
So
does complicate matters a slight bit.
So I don't know how we're going to rehabilitate them if they don't have any other means to, because that would just be the only other way that they could, if we don't get them other means of living.
We might just have to kill these guys.
That saddens me.
is this
Well,
in
once-
character?
Maybe like whispered under our breaths.
Um,
And we could see if they're willing to live off the land. I mean, I don't know what this place is like, but we were able to do that back where I'm from, and it seems like there's more verdance and wildlife out about here than there were at my home.
There sure is a lot of land here.
tomorrow will be their fourth visit. When they first visited, they threatened to burn down the trading posts if we didn't agree to hand over all of the furs and trade goods we'd accumulated. Since then, they return within an hour of sunrise on the first day of the month. They say it is taxes, and we need to have these taxes ready and hand them over quickly. The bandits always seem eager to return to their camp somewhere to the south.
Somewhere to the south. Okay.
Svetlana says, I think it's about a day's ride away.
Days right away.
He said, Oleg said the first time they visited, there was a dozen of them. 10 lower ranking, led by a cloaked man armed with a bow, and a woman who carried 2 hand axes. She did most of the talking on their first trip. And Svetlana says, and with her, we'll call it black sense of humor, coupled with how they smiled, when she spoke of the fate awaiting us if we didn't comply. Oleg then picks back up and says, she seemed particularly sharp and observant, whereas the man is a little more crude and foolish. And the woman nearly took off my right hand with one of her hand axes. Just for pleasure. So we're pretty sure she is the more dangerous of them. And Svetlana said, she even took my wedding ring just right off my finger and tossed it to one of her men as payment for not shortening Oleg's reach, as she said.
A sadist.
So I might want to just stab these people. Okay.
On the second and third visits, only the crude hooded man accompanied the bandits. On the second visit, he came with only 6 other men, whereas on the third visit, he only came with 4.
He doesn't expect you to fight back.
Yes.
And
So hopefully, when they visit tomorrow, they'll be even fewer in number. And
this time we could fight back.
hopefully that woman won't be with them.
I'll just stab her. Shit.
We think that they've let down their guard and think that we're completely cowed. Oleg kind of gestures back at at the at the gate. They even broke the gate to make sure we couldn't close it against them.
Well, that's
So
pretty gross.
we have until tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's kind of where their story stops, at least for the moment.
Okay. Guess we'll just awkwardly finish our food and then where is sleep?
Sleep would be in. Let me double check. Okay, yes. So that would be this building here.
I guess we go to bed now.
Yeah, seems like we've got a big morning tomorrow.
Um, Oleg says that he thinks you guys should either hide in there or in the stable for the morning,
Hmm,
and then you can ambush them.
makes sense.
Okay. And I think this is a good stopping point, at least for the moment, so we can go refresh drinks, empty bladders, anything that needs to be done. So let's go over to the burb screen, and we will be back soon. Hello again, everyone. We are back. Unfortunately, we had to have a Reese step out. We are probably going to be ending relatively soon. But guys, we got a battle. Where would you like to put yourself? So this would be where you guys are for the night. It is a very peaceful night. A very good night. The beds are actually pretty comfortable, but that might just be because you've spent the last 2 nights using a bedroll.
Take what we can get.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Lovely, you want to be just kind of right inside the door?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely don't want to be on my bed.
Was this building closer? I guess. Well, actually, I'm gonna take a step back and ask if it didn't seem clear to me exactly where things go down, but if it was, Gorik would be nearby to that location.
So it's gonna go down kind of out here.
Mm-hmm.
But Gorg can be like in here.
That sounds grand.
Okay. Who is gonna control Reese?
Somebody with D&D knowledge.
That would
I
probably
can
be
do
good.
that.
Okay.
Thank you, Morgan. I was just about to
Thank
ask
you,
you.
Morgan.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just gonna go to the campaign and find the character sheet.
And then I will give you. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. Lovely, you can now move Reese's token around.
Okay.
So there is a storehouse, or you can join Gorik in the stables. Probably don't all want to stack up in the same place, because depending on how initiative rolls out, you don't want to try. You don't want someone to be sitting in front of the door and you guys be like, "Okay, come on." You know, you don't want to have to try and
That's so
slip
true.
through.
So valid so far.
So I will put the other two out in the main area, and you guys can pick where you want to be. Okay, so you want Reese hugging the other side of the door then, Morgan?
That's what I'm trying to figure out what's gonna be good. So you're gonna be right out in center, Marlo. Are you sure that's good?
No,
You don't
Marlo's
wanna...
gonna
Oh
be
no, I
moving.
haven't moved my fucking character yet.
But
Oh, okay.
I put them out in the center area so you can see.
Okay, yeah.
Should we all ambush from the same place, or do you want to try and flank them?
I'm just trying to see where everybody is right this second.
So there are 2 people in
The
the guest house.
The way I see it is, I think that me and Reese, because we both have the healing capabilities, being over here, which is a little further from the main door, is probably better.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, and I'm inclined to try flanking, and I think Gorik is perhaps the best situated to just kind of be nearby and run into the thick of it.
Yeah, is it possible to have this door cracked so we can like see a little bit?
Sure.
This is not a good position.
Okay, there we go.
There's no good place for me to hide right here.
I mean, you're hiding behind a door right now.
Yeah. I mean, that works.
Okay. So then Okay, the next morning, right on time, about an hour after sunrise, the four brigands approach from the south on horseback, and they ride in, making crude comments and threats. I don't really want to start saying crude comments. And
Valid
it
fair.
is. There are a total of 4 of them. One of them is an elf. The others are humans. So, do you guys want to roll initiative?
I
Yeah.
didn't mean to move her. Okay.
Sure. Bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Are we, and by we I mean somebody who's better with people than Goric, going to try to give them a non-violent avenue out, or are we rushing in, slashing and chopping?
I say we rush and slashing and chopping. I want this. These guys are mean.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best in this particular scenario.
All right.
They don't seem the repentant type.
Nope.
They do seem pretty unrepentant based on
Mhm.
their crude comments
Yeah.
and threats.
Yes.
Okay, I am just rolling out initiative for everyone. Okay. Well, that was the highest I have yet rolled with this new die.
What was it?
18.
Nice.
Marlo, I do not see you in the turn order.
Let me roll initiative again. I don't think it clicked.
You can add yourself. You can
Mhm.
add a turn. Like
Oh,
if
well,
you-
that time I got a 20, so.
It still didn't add you.
What the hell? I hate this game.
So just click on your token and hit add turn and manually you can manually add yourself.
Yep, it's going to be a right click.
It's in there now.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
added it.
Marlo, you're up first.
Okay. Let me see. Are they? I can't see them, can I?
I mean, you can see whatever you can see.
Which is nothing.
I mean, you can step outside real quick.
Yeah, I guess I'll step outside. And oh, they're right there. Shit. Okay. Um. We're gonna. Okay. I'm gonna just kind of throw a dagger at a guy, I guess.
Okay, which one?
Mr. Tall Hooded and Stupid.
Okay.
Let's dagger. Does a 10 hit?
A 10 does not hit.
Okie dokie. We're gonna hide back in the closet now.
You could use your bonus action to throw another dagger.
Oh, never mind. We're not gonna hide in the closet yet. We're gonna throw my other. Wait, I only have 2 daggers.
Did you buy the hand axes when you were in town?
No. I forgot.
I mean, I don't think Marlo would have forgotten. You can add 2 hand axes real quick.
Okay. Sure thing. Thank you, Dad. Because I definitely did. The players.
Yep.
I, the player, am a goober. We just want regular hand axe. That's 1 and 2. Okay, so we're gonna take a hand axe.
Well, you'd probably want to throw your daggers and then hand axe for
Okay.
melee.
Oh, that's fair. We're gonna take my other dagger and we're gonna throw it.
Same guy?
Same guy.
Okay.
This one's an 11.
11 does not hit either.
Okay, I'm hiding in the closet and not coming out. Pass my turn.
Okay. Um, so it is that guy, and it looks like he can just barely see Marlowe. So, this bandit
Yep.
goes next.
Mm-hmm.
And Marlowe, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw as he casts a spell on you.
I love that. I got a 19.
A 19. That is going to save.
Beautiful.
Okay. Gorik, it is now your turn.
Okay. Now hear me out. Now Gorik is going to say a prayer to Oral.
Okay.
He has definitely been a very good boy and has used hand axes a lot. So he deserves to use his great axe as a treat. And he's gonna rage and rush into the middle of everybody.
Okay.
And he's gonna hit the fella directly in front of him.
Okay.
With reckless attack with the great axe. And if he
Okay.
dies after this, then the dice are continuing to tell a story. That is a 16.
A 16 will hit, yes.
Okay. I'm going to Savage Attacker. So to roll 2 and take the highest. And that is 14 damage.
Okay. Yeah, he's looking pretty bloodied. And his horse is looking a little panicked. And it is his turn. And for obvious reasons, he's pissed at you.
Understandable.
So he is going to attack. And since he used reckless attack, he has advantage on you. Okay, and that would be a 13 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay. Lovely. It is your turn.
My turn. Okay. So we're gonna move out here. Right here.
Okay.
And we are going to Can I get these? How do I do the little ping thingy?
That would be a right click
Mm-hmm.
on an area,
Mm-hmm.
and it should bring up a menu.
Like that. Okay.
Yep.
So these three guys right here,
Okay.
I would like to cast Bane on them. So I need a charisma saving throw.
Okay. With the first one, that's a 17.
That makes it.
The second one, that's a 15.
Damn it, that saves.
And the third one is a 3.
Okay, he fails. So he's going to
Get a minus 1d4.
yep.
Okay. It is the next guy.
I did
this
forget
one.
to cleave, by the way. I
I'm
don't
also
know.
gonna go back into hiding.
Sorry to have missed that. I'm happy to just not do it and just remember it in the future.
We will remember it in the future.
Actually, I think I have to stay within eyesight to keep the Bane on him, so never mind.
And then the next guy goes for Gorik, and that is going to be a 16 to hit.
16 also does not hit. The half
Okay.
plate is really helping.
Go half
And now
plate.
it is Haps's turn.
Oh.
And he is going to roll a 19.
That does hit, unfortunately.
Okay. So that is going to be 6 points of slashing.
Is that before being halved from rage?
That is not. Actually, no. Sorry. It is 8. So it halves to 4.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. It is Reese's turn.
Reese is gonna move to be able to have line of sight on these guys, and then is going to do a produce flame
Okay. On which one?
on the one closest to us.
Okay.
And did that do the thing? It did. No, it did not. Okay.
I do not see a thing. No. I think
Okay.
you just have to roll
Okay.
manually.
All right. $19.
Okay. 19 is going to hit. Roll your damage.
Okay. That is a D8. I need to figure out where my physical dice are. 4.
Okay. Marlo, it is your turn.
Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna peek out again.
Okay. And it's this guy who had cast the spell at you. The one that
That guy.
Reese just hit. Yeah.
Oh bother. Okay.
Do you want to run up to him? Do you want to cast a spell at him?
Let me check my spells real quick. I forgot I had spells sometimes. Dissonant Whispers is a fun one.
Okay. You can cast Dissonant Whispers.
Cast Dissonant Whispers on the dorks. So Wisdom 13.
Okay. He failed.
Did it roll? Oh, I have to roll the damage, don't I?
Yes.
15 damage.
Okay. It is
Okay.
his turn.
Yay.
He's not looking too hot.
Cool.
He casts a spell on his horse, and he's essentially gone. Yeah, he casts a spell on his horse, and his horse just books it out.
Okay.
Gorik, it is your turn.
Alrighty. Well, last turn went swimmingly, so second verse, same as the first. I'm going to reckless attack with my great axe the person directly in front of me.
Okay.
That is a 20, not natural, to hit.
You don't need to roll damage.
Okie dokie. Well, I wasn't planning on Savage attacking anyway. So now I will remember my cleave, because if I hit somebody, I thought I had to kill them or crit. If I hit somebody with a melee attack using the Great Axe, I get another attack against somebody within 5 feet. So I'm going to attack Mr. Bossman, whose name I'm forgetting.
Haps.
Oh, Haps. And that is also a dirty 20 to hit.
Okay. Roll your damage.
I will Savage attack her that one. And I rolled really badly, so that is a hot 4 damage.
Okay.
I think that might be Arl telling you not to press your luck.
Yeah, I kind of think it might be.
So is cleave just a once thing? Or
It is once per turn.
okay.
So
Wonderful.
I don't get to just if I'm surrounded, I don't get to one attack until I miss. That would be insane.
Lovely. It is your turn.
It is. Ray of Sickness.
Okay. On whom?
This guy.
Okay. The elf?
Sure.
Okay. What does Ray of Sickness do?
It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure I failed.
Yeah, a 9 does not hit.
It does not. So that's my turn.
Okay. He's going to go up against Gorik, who reckless attack, so he gets advantage again. And that is going to be 20 to hit.
That sure does hit.
Okay. And with his short sword, he does 7 damage, which halves down to 4. And then it's Hap's turn. And that is going to be 18 to hit.
That also hits.
Okay, that is going to be 9, which halves down to 5.
Okay.
Okay, and then it is back to Reese.
Let's do another produce flame.
Okay, which one?
Just keep going at that guy closest to us.
Okay.
The elf, I guess.
Yep. He's not on a shelf, though.
That is gonna be a 18.
That's going to hit.
All right, and that is a D8. 2 fire damage.
Okay. Marlowe, it is your turn.
Okay.
Do you want to come in with your axes swinging?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So there's this weirdo over here. I'm gonna go here.
Okay.
Actions. Hand axe.
Okay.
And 11 does not hit.
11 does not hit.
No.
But you can bonus action a second attack.
Does a 23 hit?
A 23 does hit. Now, since that is your offhand, you don't get to add in your strength modifier, so it's just 1d6 damage.
Okay. That's 1 damage.
Okay. Hey, 1 damage at a time and you'll take him out. Goric, it is your turn.
That's C's get degrees logic.
so it's very good logic then.
C's do get
It's-
degrees.
It's logic that keeps you from like overworking yourself.
Worm is on the map. The space I just pinged has part of a wagon on it. If I were
Yes.
to move there, is there any detriment to me doing so? I'm thinking that it would be nice to get flanking on Haps so that I don't need to keep reckless attacking because that finally hurt me last turn.
I mean, you can try. Yeah,
Like,
you
is
can
it
step
obvious
around
looking at it that it will? Okay.
it. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Alrighty. And I'm going to switch to the hand axes because I'm going to take the retribution I suffered as an indication that I should do that.
Yeah, all this is a distraction, but I posted a super fun thing in the Kingmaker group chat.
Does it? I'm going to assume a 21 hits.
A 21 does hit. Yep. Yes, it does.
That is 9 damage.
Okay. That's 9, not 96. Okay. Is it your turn?
No, I'm going to do the bonus attack with the other hand axe, which is also a 21. And then d6 plus my rage damage is 4, not my strength.
Okay. Haps is looking not super hot. Lovely. It is your turn.
It is. Okay.
Do you want to try a cleric spell? See if that finally works for you now that your poison didn't work?
Yeah, I think we will try that. Thing is, I don't have many cleric spells that do damage, but we're gonna do it anyways. Oh, actually, let's try this because I haven't used this feature yet. Can I get a Constitution saving throw?
From whom?
The elf.
Okay. That is going to be a con save. What is the con save for?
It's a 13. This is for, I'm using my channel divinity divine spark for the second feature that it can do.
What is the second feature it can do? I'm not familiar with that.
So on a failed constitution saving throw, the creature takes 1d8 plus 3 necrotic or radiant damage, my choice.
Okay.
Radiant.
This would be a 15 that they rolled.
Damn it. Oh, or half as much on a successful save.
Okay.
So I rolled a 7, so that's going to be a 3. 3 radiant damage.
Are we rounding up or down? Because
I'm assuming it's down.
Worm's damage to me was rounded up, but I don't know if that's just different between player and DM.
It's usually DM's call if it doesn't specify within the spell or ability, which it doesn't specify here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I mean I'm good with rounding up always. Or if you want to round down when you guys are doing something and have the enemies round up, you can also do that. That is going to be a little bit more difficult, but probably negligibly.
Okay, it can take 4 points of radiant damage if you prefer. That would be great.
Okay. It is the elf's turn again. And he's actually going to shoot a longbow at Lovely.
That makes sense.
That's rude.
That is going to be a 22 to hit.
Yikes! Yeah, that hits.
Dang.
How much piercing damage am I taking?
6.
Ouch.
It is Hap's turn. Oh, I've been missing an attack with Haps, so we're not going to miss it this time. He is going to start off with a short sword attack against Goric. That's going to miss, and then he's going to dagger attack against Goric. That is not going to miss, however, because that is a 22. And that is 4, so that halves down to 2 damage.
Okay.
Reese's turn.
Okay. Keep on doing it with the.
Produce flame?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That seems to be the best option looking at this character sheet. Yeah,
That's gonna hit.
23. And then that's going to be a D8. 3 fire damage.
Okay. Marlo, it's up to
Yes.
you. And you
Okay,
have
so-
advantage if you keep attacking Haps.
Okay. 1 second. I did what?
You can have advantage if you attack Haps.
Okay. That's the guy in front of me?
Yep.
Okay.
Because you got flanking with your buddy.
There's a 14 hit.
A 14 does
That was
hit.
just my first roll. Oh, nice. I win on my first roll.
Roll
Okay.
a second time though, just to see if you get a crit. Nope.
No,
Okay.
I don't.
Roll your damage.
Is that the most amount of damage I could have done with that?
I think so.
Yes. And you kill him.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yo, I did it!
Wait. Now that we've killed the boss, maybe we could, like, interrogate this guy.
Good. Isn't that the one who magicked his horse away?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That one's long gone.
Oh, good. He tried to put a spell on me. That was rude.
Is it good that he's gone?
No, I mean, I kind of don't think so, because now all their friends are gonna know. All of their at least 8. Well, you had 4? Yeah. All of their at least
I mean,
8
I don't
friends.
like killing people, but I don't like people trying to hurt me neither, so.
Do you
Like,
want to run
sometimes
up
people
to
have
the?
to die.
Do you want to run up to the other guy and use your bonus action to attack him with your other hand axe?
Can I bonk him on the head with the pommel of my axe?
As long as you don't get a natural 20, sure.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna run over, bonk, and we're bonking time.
Okay. Yeah, roll your damage.
Oh boy.
Well, you declared non-lethal, so it should be fine.
I did clear non-lethal.
Okay.
I got a 6.
As he slumps over in his saddle, his horse bolts. Do you
Good.
guys want to make an attack of opportunity against his horse? He's still
Could
on
I-
his horse.
Could I try? Is there any animal handling thing I could try, or should I? Like, how much will it injure the horse if I just if I try to throw myself bodily in front of it? I'm assuming it will hurt me greatly, but
Yes, it will.
Can I use a spell as a reaction?
Which spell?
oh wait,
Because we're inside of a building, right?
You're outside.
We're outside.
Yes.
This is outside?
Yes. There's a 10-foot wall around everything, but there's no roof.
Oh, okay, that was unclear.
I could try and grapple since that is now a type of melee attack. So I could try and grapple. I don't know how feasible it is to grapple either the horse or the rider, but that seems like the least bad option available to me.
I will let you try to grapple the horse.
It is so it's although it's a melee attack, it looks like it's still just a strength or dex DC for the person that I'm trying, or the being that I'm trying to grapple.
Let me double check if they have changed it, because it used to be athletics or acrobatics on their part. I do like that they have a rules glossary at the end.
Guys, I can officially play both Oxenfree games on my cell phone.
Okay, so yeah,
I'm in a
it would be
Crazy.
athletics or acrobatics on the horse's part. So
Interesting.
why don't you roll as I roll?
Alrighty. So we're just doing contested athletics or acrobatics? Alrighty.
No, you have to use athletics. You don't get a choice.
Oh, well, that's what I'm good at anyway. So
Yes.
this works for me. I am going to, since I'm a human, I get heroic. Well, actually, no, that's a reroll. That's not 2 and pick the highest. I may be burning that. I am burning that. That was a terrible roll. That's a better roll. 17.
Yeah, no, the horse beats you on the die alone.
Can I use a spell as a reaction?
Which spell do you want to use?
I would like to use command.
Can command be used that way?
Yes, it just says a creature you see within range. It does not specify humanoid.
What if can Marlowe Bardic Inspiration me?
Can I?
How-
Will you allow it?
Let's see, it would be a D6. You can't win.
Oh.
I appreciate the resource conservation.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because command would be an action. And
Yes,
this
it
would
is.
be a reaction. So I'm going to say no on that one.
Damn it.
I appreciate you guys trying very hard, but this horse is just fucking out of there.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gonna get too far away from us before it comes back around to our turn.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's gonna dash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got a speed of what?
For the
Fast.
horse, I don't know off the top of my head, but it is
I-
more than 30 feet per movement
I'm assuming
action.
so. Our horses are 40 feet, so I'm assuming it's somewhere in that range.
It would be at least 40 feet because it is not a draft horse.
It's a riding horse.
It
Yeah,
is a riding horse, yeah, which I think might actually be 60 feet.
60 feet. Yeah. Okay.
So
and
it would
then-
be going 120.
Yeah, there's no way we can catch up to it. Well, he is going to tell his superiors what we look like. So that is going to happen.
Well, I mean, there's someone else who had already escaped, so that cat is already off.
But at least he can tell them that we left him alive.
I did specifically knock him out.
Yeah. So maybe there's some.
It's a benefit if they are repentant. If they are
Yeah.
unrepentant, then that's
Yeah.
another person who will be trying to murder us later.
Well, I
Yeah.
definitely think that their female leader will be trying to murder us later, but
Absolutely.
It wasn't terrible.
It was not terrible.
We didn't die.
Nope. And we are going to end here tonight. Thank you
we did good.
so much to everyone for hanging out. We will be back next Saturday. We are back to weekly, as this is always supposed to be, but things happened.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everyone, thank
Yeah.
you so much. Let me figure out who we're going to raid.
Y'all, what do you think of the horsies?
I like the horses a lot.
Me
Thank
too.
you. I spent half of combat doing that. That's what I was so focused on. I was not focused on combat. I was making the horsies and dress up.
Those folks we raided a while ago are streaming again.
Whom?
I don't remember what their name was.
Sleepy Sheepy Productions is what I'm saying. We raided them, right?
Yes.
I have a bunch of animal live streams that are up right now. That's all I got. I still have yet to find a good vulture live stream.
Yeah, I'm going to send us on over that way. Thank you so much, everyone. We will see you next Saturday.
Thanks for coming, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.